Oh, my little cushion's coming off my bench. Okay. I have my little heater on beside me because I'm freezing. The temperature has dropped here once again. Hello, Delphina. I know, let's get her done. I want to get this thing done. I've made a couple minor changes since I planned. Well, first of all, I did get my webbing. This is going to be my webbing. I went with Delphina's suggestion, and I like it. I actually bought this off of Amazon. The only place I could get a solid navy was through Sally Tomato, which would have taken too long to get. And shipping and everything would have been cost effective. So I went on Amazon and I found this. This is that Craftmore, I think is what it's called. Craftmore. Sometimes I'll get a little things, odd and ends off of Amazon through this. This is where I like my, Craft Me More is what it's called. I bought it, and this is thick webbing. This isn't that cheap webbing you get from Amazon when you buy it directly from Amazon. You know, like a store, like this is like a storefront on Amazon. I mean, this is some thick webbing. I mean, look at it. It's not even fallen. So I'm happy about that on my webbing. So we'll set this aside. Boom to boom. All right. Now, when I originally planned the bag, I was going to use this big zipper pull and then these zipper pulls for the front, the top main zipper pull, and this was going to be my zipper pull in the front of the bag, the two side zippers. Well, I had since, I just dropped the zipper pull. That's okay. I have since, I had to place an order to get my zipper tape. Hi, Jeannie. How you doing? Since I had to place an order to get some zipper tape, and this is Kasaya's Holy Guacamole. I got this. I got all my stuff yesterday. Hi, Diane. So I love this color of zipper tape. Hi, Cynthiana. So when I had to place my order with Kasaya, I got new zipper pulls. Not new. They're not new zipper pulls. I got different zipper pulls. Where's it at? Oh, wait a minute. Ugh, my cart's over here. I had to push it out of the way. I worked on this to make sure I had everything ready to go. I mean, my lunch hour was was up late getting this, and then okay. So this is what I love. I absolutely love these zipper pulls that Kasaya sells. The ginormous hoop ones. So this is going to be my main zipper pull. I love it. And my side zipper pulls is some of Kasaya's new zipper pulls. I love them. If I can find it, it's in my little bucket here somewhere. Did I put it in here? I did. I put them in here. These are Kasaya's new zipper pulls. Let's see. It says limited edition. Let me see if I can get you, if it shows up. Now, I know it may come up backwards because of the way since I have to film with my camera. But it says limited edition. And I love these. These are going to be the front zippers, the two zippers on the sides. Well, my bag's way over there. I don't want to get it up. But this is going to be the two front zipper pulls, limited edition, which I love that. Okay. I got my... I can't wait to see what this handle's going to look like with these huge O-rings on there. It's fun. I'm telling you, it's fun making your own bag because you can be creative and add what you want because it's, I mean, obviously it's your cost. I think it's fun because I altered the center pocket and the lining. I added some bling to it, and I've got my straps. Oh my gosh, you guys, check this out. I did these last night. So, in the one I did first, I used the Wabi Sabi with the French floral. And then, oh, yeah. If you find the right places to get zipper pulls, I'm gonna tell you what, it's you can get some really cute zipper pulls. My Handmade Space has got some real cute ones too. But with Delphina's suggestion, I decided to do the navy for my handle and the French floral. And this is going to be the top of my handle, but check this out. This is what I wanted to show you. This is the Holy Guacamole, Kasai's Holy Guacamole thread with the navy faux reel. I love it. This green, I don't know why, I just think it is so neat looking. Okay, we got a lot to do. I got enough. I just wanted to show you some of the changes, like my zipper pulls and stuff that I had showed you in the beginning. I altered that a little bit. I did prep, since I'm making this a drop-in, instead of a birth bag, I did go ahead and put my tape on to save time. I know you typically don't because you're going to be sewing over, you know, the ends, but it's all good. So I've got that all ready to go. The lining, now I do want to go over this lining because I forgot my water. Oh well. Because the way you put the lining together for this, because it's got that oval bottom with that divider, interior divider pocket. So I did what you're supposed to do, and this is what I where I stopped at Saturday, because I didn't have my zipper. To see how well that zipper looks with this Wabi Sabi. This is, like I said, this is the Holy Guacamole, Kasai's Holy Guacamole zipper tape with this Wabi Sabi, the faux real Wabi Sabi. It looks, I mean, great. But anyways, so before you do your divider pocket, you are going to put your zipper panel and your upper lining to your thing, just like you're going, just like, let me kind of, because this is big. Again, this is the carrier size. So this is a very big bag. You're going to have this all assembled like this before you insert your divider, interior divider pocket. So this is what we got right now on the bag. So these are my interior sides of my bag. And again, I put extra pockets in because this is my bag, so I put extra pockets in. So it's all done. I've got it top stitched. And make sure, I'm telling myself, make sure, oh, you dislike green? Ah, Wendy. That's okay. I'll forgive you. When I was growing up, green was always my favorite color. I do tend to like a little more country type muted yellows now, but with my name, my cactus kind of logo deal, just about everything I have now is I have a lot of green. Okay, anyway, I'm telling myself. So when I was top stitching my lining here, I accidentally got my zipper pocket caught up in my top stitching. These poor zipper pockets. So just make sure when you're doing all of this stuff, especially when it's big like this, just make sure you keep everything out of the way and you're only sewing what you're supposed to be sewing, not everything else. I keep seeing threads from when I sewed my other zipper pocket the other day to my bag. Oh, anyway, all right. So, we will go ahead, boom, and start with the zipper lining because that's where we stopped at. What's rude? Let me, okay. Well, to respond to that, Arlene, well, yeah, it is St. Patty's Day. That's true, Delphina. And it's fine if that's her choice as far as, you know, the colors of the greens, you know, that's her choice. To be honest with you, this is not a Christmas green. It's called Wabi Sabi. It is a different color of green. To me, I consider green, a Christmas green, to be actually more like this color. However, I mean, that's her opinion. If she don't like my green, that's fine. This is, again, this is my bag. I mean, yes, I have green glasses on too because, and again, it's St. Patty's Day. And, you know, I am probably a fourth or more Irish. So we'll go, I'm fine with it. And I won't delete the comment only because it's, even though it's, you know, I guess as Lindiana put it, it's kind of rude. I mean, we're just going to let it, I'm just going to let it go. But if it was something that was really bad, I would get rid of it. Okay. So we're going to start where we stopped on Saturday. Again, we stopped before, since Saturday, I made the zipper placket. I attached the zipper placket just like you do normally on a zipper placket on the upper lining piece to the lower lining piece, and it goes right in between. So that's typical in bag making when you're doing the zipper placket down in the bag like that. Okay. I got a string. Let me get this thread real fast. Okay. So after you do that, what you're going to do, let me get my directions, and that dog is barking. Okay. So once you get this put together, you're going to set this aside because you're going to make sure you have your center divider pocket. Again, I made my zipper divider pocket I divided my center divider pocket. Okay, let me go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So let me get that real quick because notifications are coming up. And when that starts ringing and everything, then it will disturb the live. But anyways, so I opted to divide my center divider pocket to half of it's a zipper portion. The other half is a slip pocket. The instructions, I go over it in my live from Saturday, how I did this. However, oh, thank you. But this pocket idea came from the Amara by Woodland Stitches. So if you want more details, I mean, you can go ahead and get her pattern to do that. And it's a great bag. The Amara, I loved it. I made it for myself, but I wanted something bigger. So then I went with this. Okay. Did I test what first? Lindiana. I'm not sure what you mean by did I test it first. Oh, let me get my let me get my bench up real quickly. I'm not sure. So I'll keep going until I see what you mean by testing. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. So I'm going to lower my camera just a little bit so you can see better down here. Let me get, oh, hold on. I got to move it a little bit because I don't have it. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to do this. I got to lower this so you can see in my, there we go. The cup pocket. I tested it in the Amara. When I made it for the Amara, where's my Amara at? Hold on a second. Oh. Okay, so here's my Amara that I made when I originally made it this way, because this is the way the Amara is designed. It's a smaller one because it's a smaller bag, but it is tested, and the lining is actually Annette's water resistant canvas. Her canvas that's PVC backed. So it's it should, you know, if you use like, because my idea is putting a cold water bottle in there, and if it sweats or whatnot, it should be fine. It will not go through. And I do believe, in my opinion, because I'm using the same thing in this pocket. It's a Nets, again, I'm using navy, but this is a Nets water resistant, a waterproof canvas that's PVC backed. She does, Lindy, and I completely agree. With this being the water resistant canvas, a waterproof canvas, and then a water resistant canvas on this side, I believe that if my bottle sweats or anything, I believe it should be good. Now, obviously, if there's a hole in it or it spills, that's completely a different, another story. But, you know, anything like sweating or not, I think will be good. Now, this pocket is huge. I could actually get a couple of bottles in here, which would be perfect for me, because my idea is, because I carry a little cooler with me, a small one, but like a little cooler. And I usually don't, I put like a couple waters and a couple pops in there, and I never drink all of that. I never even go through a bottle of water when I'm there. For some reason, I don't do it. I just take sips here and there. So this would be plenty of room enough to put 2 water bottles in there. Oh, have fun, Cynthia, and enjoy. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know who Heimer. I probably really should get my laptop and bring my laptop up and keep an eye out on who some of these people are. Yeah, I need to get my laptop out. I need an admin. I really need an admin. Oh. That's the one problem with, let me get my laptop out. Are you going to be able to stay with me, Lindiana, for a bit? Can I make you an admin? Would you care to do that? And all I would ask you for is, like, if I get comments like that, just delete them. Would you know how to do that if you, played around with it and figured it out? You don't have to, well, and Delphina, I would ask you, actually, I would make both of you my admins. I can make both of you my admins, and, but I know sometimes you have to leave, a little early. Let's see. Add as a moderator. I think that's what I use. Okay. Managing, can manage blocked words and change. Yes. Okay. Delphine, I'm going to make you one too. That way, because I was thinking, Lindiana, because I know she's usually here longer, and I know sometimes you have to leave. But if you want to, both of you, and I say, all I'm asking is comments like that one. I'll go ahead and delete that one off. That whoever this Heimer person is, I'm going to go ahead and remove this person's comments. I think hopefully it removed all of them. No. See, it's coming up in a different language on my computer. Hey, this is really taking some time to do this. I'm going to hide user on this channel. There we go. Okay. That would help me out a great deal. We don't have to have that kind of stuff on there. And it's taking up my time dealing with that stuff. Okay. back to the interior divider pocket. I have a full bobbin. I made sure I had a full bobbin. So we're going to take our interior divider pocket. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your interior bottom panel. And remember, your interior bottom panel is in 2 pieces. So I'm going to grab both of those pieces. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make some marks on these very corner. She doesn't tell you to make the marks, but I would make the marks so you don't forget. You're going to make some marks in on the sides here, and that's where you're going to start your sewing and stop your sewing on the other side. So let me go ahead and make a couple small marks. Of course, all of my rulers are hiding from me. Somehow this afternoon, last night, I lost my 1 by 6 inch ruler. I know it's here. It's probably on the floor underneath everything. So I'm going to grab this one. This is my next smallest one. So let me grab a pen. And I'm going to make the marks. I don't think she doesn't say to make the marks, but I'm making them to make sure I know where to start and stop, and that I don't forget while I'm sewing this and go all the way to the end when I shouldn't be. Because then we would have to unstitch. So I'm going to do that real fast. You just sew. Thank you, guys, ladies. Keep an eye out for me. I try to look up, but I'll tell you what. I can't. Sometimes, if I spend too much time looking up and watching that, we'll never get done. And I do want to get done tonight, and I do need to go to bed at a decent hour tonight. I got a very long day at work tomorrow. Okay. So, what you're going to do then is you're going to, where you made those little marks, well, you're going to go ahead and pen these, and I'm going to make sure I pen them. To the bottom of the pocket. You can mark mark the center, but you should be able to match it out, and it works well as long as your cuts are okay. I'm going to put one clip here. You're going to put both of these pieces on at the same time, but I'm going to put a clip there to hold it in place. Again, I've got my little marks here at the top. And then I'm going to take my other piece that I have and put it on the other side. Match it up. Let me get my clips. I'll just use these clips. Oh, I can't pick up a handful. Let me just pick up a few here. All right. So I'm going to clip this together. That's fine. My pockets. Okay. Kind of neat how she does this. It's a little different. I know when you do the divider pockets, you do one, you put it on, and then, but I've done divider pockets where there's been a gusset involved. This does not involve a gusset. It's a little bit different, and that's what I thought was kind of neat about it. It's a little different because you're not putting it up against a gusset. Okay. So I've got one half here, the other half here. Okay. Oh, the Regina Phalange. You know what's funny is when I bought this, I bought the pattern because I liked the looks of the exterior of it. I never realized it had a center divider pocket until I pulled it out to make it. And then I'm like, looking at that, I'm like, wait a minute. How did I not realize this had a center divider pocket? Because I love my pockets, and that's usually that's why I bought the Amara, because I loved that center divider pocket, that it was in 2 different pockets. I thought that was just the coolest thing. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to start, again, where I've got that mark at, you're going to start your stitching there, and she does give you the seam allowance. I'm going to go just a hair above what she suggests, only because on my other one, while it wasn't a baggy bottom, I like it to be a little more fitted. So I'm going to go a little more over than what she gives. Again, starting at that line that you marked. Let's see. I'm just kind of making sure I'm in the right spot and I'm at the right seam allowance. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started there. And we're going to sew to the other side of the bag of there where you've got that other mark at. So don't go past your little marks that you drew on there. Oops, I hit a clip and broke it already. And I'm going to hit that camera. I'm going to have to, let me grab my bag. Instead of hitting the camera, yeah, I do. There's sometimes I have to, like, I try to figure out what's on the inside of bags. And sometimes it is hard to find pictures of interior of bags. A lot of the pattern testers do a lot. Now, the pattern testers, a lot of them will do a really good job of showing the interior of bags. All right, so I'm coming up on my little mark. All right, my back stitch. All right, I'll show you what I got here. All right, so see where I stopped? Looks like I went, well, that's just a string. I was going to say, it looks like I went past it, but that's just a little leftover. Here we go. Let's clean that up. There we go. Now it looks better. So I stopped where that line is. So you've got that little extra there that is not sewn. Okay. And I did that on both sides. So let me clean up my threads here. So both sides have that little spot there. Ah, come on. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to fold back. Again, you don't have gussets involved in this. So this is really interesting. Okay. You're going to take these little guys and you're going to fold it back like away from the seam allowance or away from the side. Both sides, you're going to fold them back. I'll try to show you. See, so we've got both of these folded back. I'm going to grab me a clip and hold these back away. You can do it anyway. I'm just going to use a clip. Like that. See how I've got both sides folded back. I'm going to do that to the other side. And you're basically getting it out of the way from when you sew this into your lining that I was just showing you earlier. So, there we go. Oh, it's hard to show. I really need to get better cameras, but I can't. That's a future thing. So that's what you got right now. Okay. So now you're gonna grab your lining, the big old piece of lining here. I'm reading as I go along to make sure I don't miss. Oh, and I do have a statement to make too. So, once I read and make sure. Once I get going here. So you got your lining. You're going to take your interior divider pocket, flip up one side of your, like lay it down and kind of flip it up. And you're going to match one side of this to the side here, like that. Staying even with the bottom of your lining, you're going to have this piece here at the bottom. That includes the seam allowance. You're not going to have it sticking out. You're going to keep it all even, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to clip up the side. Just on the one side, we're just going to clip it up right now. I'm doing the clip I'm going to say clip it up. I'm going to clip partial away, a couple clips, just to hold it in place because of the weight of this pocket. It keeps wanting to pull. So I'm going to take my other side of my lining, match it to the other side like that. So it's like a little pocket sandwich. Again, make sure that this piece of your base that you stitched onto your interior pocket, make sure that these little pieces here are not in your seam allowances when you sew up the sides of your lining. That's very important. Okay, disclaimer. My Selma bag by Shambhala. I did a live on it. Saturday night, I had a viewer watching that video and sewing up the bag based on my live. She caught a mistake. First person who's noticed it, and she reached out to me because she couldn't understand why the pocket didn't look complete. So we had a conversation Saturday night trying to figure it out. And it was late Saturday, not late, but it was in the evening, and we were having TV issues at home. At the same time, she started messaging me. So my brain was not working, and I couldn't think of it, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'm going to stop here for a second. Make sure you just remember your divider center, interior divider pocket will not go all the way up. It does fall just below where your lining piece stops and gets to your top. But anyways, I would just make sure you clip that little piece, put a clip right on that so it doesn't slip in. Because again, mine's kind of heavy because it's not cotton. So just be careful. And then I'll obviously make sure your zipper's out of the way. I'm going to tuck my zipper tail in here. But anyways, she was very, very nice to me to figure it out. She ended up reaching out to, she actually put it on Shambhala's Facebook page and asked. And Sammy, I'm going to tell you what. Sammy, thank you, Wendy. Sammy responded to her personally. Sammy did. She responded to her. They instant message, they not instant message, but they Facebook message. She is Lindiana. They messaged each other to figure it out, and I did the pocket wrong in the Selma bag. It's the front slip pocket. Because how Sammy does her pockets, you will take your lining pocket and fold it down to where part of your exterior goes in, folds down in there of your lining pocket. It's hard to explain. But anyways, we figured it out. I realized it right about at the time she was talking to Sammy. So she got it figured out. Unfortunately, she had to remove some stitches to redo it. But I have to go in and edit that video and somehow put a comment in there after the fact. I don't know how to do that, but I will figure it out. So anyways, I want to, number one, thank her very much for bringing that to my attention. I had to pull that bag. Fortunately, I had not sold my bag. I had it in a box to bring to my show this weekend. And of course, it's pulled until I can fix my bag, because it's going to be hard to fix it. I just got to sit down and think about it. All right, let me stop for a second. So I got the one side clipped, and I'm going to go ahead and sew this at the seam allowance she gives you. Let me see if she has you increase it. Okay, she doesn't have you increase the seam allowance in this. Sorry, there went my ruler. She doesn't have you increase my seam allowance. So she does have you keep a consistent seam allowance. But anyways, I just want to thank her again for bringing it to my attention. And Sammy for being such an awesome designer, reaching out to her and personally helping her. If you're not familiar with Shambhala patterns, and I'm not taking away from Sincerely Jen because I'm doing her bag tonight, but I'm just wanting to mention that because of what happened. But anyway, yeah, just, she's great. Okay, so I'm going in there and I'm stitching this down just along the side. I'm not sewing the bottom, just the side of the bag. Going kind of slow because this is big and it's just hitting everything. And I've got a tablet here and a phone camera there. Now, if you sew with something lighter than like a semi-industrial, a domestic, or something like that, beware of your fabric choices for this lining. I can get by with what I did because of this machine. I'm not gonna lie, she's a beast. Whoops. Make sure my thing, yeah, my clips are coming off, so I'm just making sure I don't lose that in my bottom. But anyway, sorry, hitting the camera. Oof. Okay, give me a second here. My bag slipped up underneath my, all right, there we go. I'm trying to watch my bag on the one side, and I didn't watch it on the front side. There we go. So keep in mind that you got to make sure that those little pieces of your base stays out of your seam, your stitching. All right, and I forgot what I was just saying, but that's fine. All right, I'll show you what I got here. And then the other side, we'll just do it without me going through a whole dispensation. So there's that. It's sewed just on this side. I did sew all the way to the bottom, but remember, if you look, these are still free. These are not in the seam. That's what I was talking about. It's very important. Okay, so now when I get to the other side, see how it's a little short? You're going to take this and pull it to the other side of the lining like that. And I'm just going to hold it in place with a couple clips. Again, it's kind of big and you're pulling it from the other side. So I'm just going to put a couple clips just to hold it. And then grab my other side of my lining and then do the exact same thing, clip it up, and sew just the side of my lining, not the base yet. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. You just got to keep pulling it forward so it's yeah, I've got, oh, that's what I was talking about. Your materials you're using in your lining. So you got to remember you've got your interior pocket. It's, you've got that. There's 4 layers just in the interior pocket. So there's 4 layers there, plus the lining, your lining pocket, your lining of your bag. So you're looking at just right here is 6 layers. So I would definitely use cotton if you're using a domestic machine. Or you could use this waterproof or this water resistant canvas right here. This is thin. This is from My Handmade Space. I did put a link in there. This is a nice thin canvas. So you could use that. I got that extra thick guy in there for a reason. So, anyway, just thought I'd mention that real quick. So, all right. So I'm going to start from the bottom up because it's easier for right here. Make sure. All right. like, I feel like I'm handling a raincoat or something, because it's the sound of this canvas is different. I mean, that's smart. That makes a lot of sense. There's a few times I wish I had done that. I tell you what though, because which I'm limiting my testing bags for designers. I have I'll go that story in a minute. But when I was doing tester bags, I learned real quick to be careful on what materials to use when you do tester bags for other designers, unless you know the designer. I'm going to grab this real quick so I don't hit the camera again. There's been a couple tester bags, sorry, that I had worked on. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get this right. Oh, because I got all kinds of obstacles here in front of me. Anyway, there we go. I can't hold on to my piece by where I'm sewing it because I'm too busy holding on all these extra pieces I got flying around this big, huge piece of stuff. Yeah, especially this size. Yeah, I'm glad I made the other size of this bag before I did the carrier size, because this is a lot of material used for this bag. I would not sell. Honestly, I would not make a carrier bag to sell because it uses so much fabric, materials, and whatnot. You'd never get your money back. Never. Well, some people might. I know I would never get my money back. But anyways, I've learned. All right, so this is what we got right now. So now that we have this, you're going to... Let me get my good scissors. You're going to make a snip. Let me make sure I mark it in the right place where I did not mark my centers of my panel, but that's okay. We're okay. Yes. I was making sure I'm telling you the right thing. So, right here in your lining, where your lining and your center your interior divider pocket go, right here where you did that mark and you started your stops, where you did your stitching, you're going to go in and make a snip. If I can get, there we go. You're going to make a snip right there on the divider pocket, not on the lining piece, but the divider pocket. You're going to go in and make a snip, and you're only going to go about, well, she tells you the amount. Sorry, I can't tell you. So I'm going to go in. I mean, I know pretty much where it's at because of my stitching seam allowance. So I'm going to do this way so I don't mess up. So I'm going to go in. I'll show you what I did once I do it. Okay. Just be careful that you don't accidentally snip your base piece, make sure you do not accidentally snip the base piece that's in here. Because remember, you still got these your base piece is still tucked up inside your bag. But where I made the snip at, this is too much, guys. It'll be worth it when it's done. But the snip is right here. Right there. On the divider pocket. So I'm going to do that on the other side. Again, she gives you the seam allowance, how far to go up. And it's, or the measurement, I should say. And it's pretty much, and what it is, it's your seam allowance. That's why I can't say, because it is your seam allowance that you're going to snip. Because what that does is that will help these little pieces when you match this out. it helps it to lay better. It's kind of like when you're doing a boxed bottom and you do those snips in your boxed bottom to help it lay out right, because you got them, you know, those pieces. It helps it, see how it pulls out, and it pulls out to lay better. All right, now I didn't mark my center. Make sure you mark your centers on this piece. I did not. So I'm going to be, as Susan would call it, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to just let it lay like that and then just kind of clip it from there. I will clip from the center out, but I'm just going to kind of guess it. So you're going to pull out one of your bottoms, match your centers, if your centers are marked, and just clip it around, and then you're going to start sewing your base like that. If you need to snip, you shouldn't really need to do any kind of snipping when you get around to the side. I have found that it may get a little kind of not baggy, but a little bunched up here. You can just kind of pull it a little tight, but if it gets a little bit baggy here, you should be fine. It's in the corner of your bag, and I don't really think, honestly, I don't think you're gonna notice it if it goes a little baggy. So you're gonna clip it up like that. Again, I'm just going from the center out to make sure it lays. And if I feel like it's getting too baggy in that corner, I'll just kind of pull a little bit of the base over a little bit, just to kind of make it from being so baggy here in the corners. Let's get that clipped up. Boom. See, like that. That's what we got. So there's one side right there. I've got it all clipped up. And then see how that's kind of pulls out a little bit. That's your corner where it's at. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Again, make sure you don't accidentally catch your base when you stitch up the sides. Oh my gosh, we could get this done so much quicker if I didn't make silly mistakes. Very corner of my base is caught in my seam allowance. Not the corners down here at the bottom, not down here where I had to fold it out of the way. It is like right, the little rounded part of my base is caught right in the seam allowance. So I just need to unstitch right where it's caught. And then I can restitch it. It's my lining, so it's not a big deal. There we go. All right, see, that was caught that little bit in there. All right, so let me stitch that real quick. Stitch it back down. Ugh. I'm going to try not to hit the camera. Yes, thank you, Lindiana. That is correct. Wendy, my machine is a Juki. Thank you, Lindiana. I appreciate you pointing that out to me. It is a Juki 1541S. A lot of people have like the Thors. I think Lori, if you watch Barb or Lori, a Wild Pony, she has a Thor 1541, which is a less expensive version of the same machine that I have. And the reason why I didn't buy a Thor is when I was searching for sewing machines, sometimes I'm not good with certain types of machinery, and I was worried that if I went to certain places that I wouldn't get the help that I needed. So I went to a place that had a good reputation of helping people out, and so I ended up at Juki Junkies. But yeah, and since I bought this machine, right after I bought this machine, the prices have gone up a lot. I've had this a little over a year, and it's the prices have gone up a lot just since I bought this. I expect them to probably go up more too, but anyway. All right, so let's get that. Now let's do this right, since now I love this machine. I do love it. I bought this version. I was going back and forth between that and the 1141, the 1181. That's what Lauren Mormino uses, the 1181. And the reason why I went with this is that because if I ever wanted to go into like leathers and stuff in the future, I had the machine to do it, the capability to do it. I'm getting clips everywhere. All right, let's do it this way. That is the reason why. Now, will I get into leathers? I don't know. I'd like to. When I watch Barb sew the leathers and stuff, I do really want to, but I just can't right now. But it was like I kept trying to buy domestic machines that would have the capability of making bags, and they just weren't cutting it. And so I decided when I was going to do this, I was just like I say sometimes, go big or go home. I did it. Now, it's a lot of money, I'm not going to lie. And I'm still paying for it. So it's even a lot more money. Not going there. But anyway. So if you can do it and you can get it paid off sooner than later, obviously you're the better for it, but yeah. All right, so I've got a little more puckering that I like. So I'm just kind of bringing it over a little bit. Maybe I didn't center it. Yeah, maybe I didn't center it well enough. Okay. Since I don't have my centers marked, I am having a lot more puckering than I thought. So let me do it this way. I could try to mark my centers, but after the fact, sometimes it's so much harder. Once we get this done, we will get the exterior done. And the exterior is not that difficult. It's just sewing a series of strips. I think the longest part that I'm going to show you, and it's not really a long part, is the exterior zipper. I already have part of it done, so it's not like, there we go, that's much better. It's not like one more clip. I can hold on to these clips. I love these little clips, but they are so tiny. All right, so there's my base. It's all clipped all the way around it. There's my interior. So I'm going to now go just so all the way around the whole piece, base. Just be careful when you get to here where your thing is. You might have to push, kind of give it. And I sew these rounded type of bases like this. It's easier to flatten it. Again, if you get a little bit of puckering in this, I really don't think it's going to hurt because it's down in the corners and nobody's really going to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew around my base real quick and get this done. I need to lower my seam. Oh, my stitch length, I mean. Get some stuff out of my way. All right. Hopefully, and I'm going to get my tablet out of the way so I don't keep hitting it. And that might make it a little easier. All right. Let's go. Just go slow when you go around those curved edges. Whoops. You guys almost hit the ground. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you so much, Delphina. Yes, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I see 16 now. I don't know. I know sometimes there's like a delay. Again, I'm just going slow around these edges, or the rounded edges, I should say. Trying to keep it from puckering too much. Well, it's okay for a little. You don't want a ton. Okay, so now I'm to the side here where the seam is. So I'm just going to go to there. I'm going to like back stitch there because you've got that seam. So I'm going to back stitch on that. I should have started on the other end, but that's fine. Guys, I just kind of stopped there and I did a little back stitch just to close that off. So then I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side now, just on the other side of that, and do the same thing. I'm just going to start right up against that seam. I'm going to lower my needle. There we go. Pocket is, oh, I need to unzip my bag. There we go. A little too much going in that little corner there. All right. Now, Jen did come out with a new pattern yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It is kind of similar. It's a similar shape than this bag. It's got a cute little bow on the front. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Nope, hitting my phone again. Ah! I don't know why I cannot remember. All right, I gotta hold this up for right now so it's not in the way. Boom, there it is. Going up. Oh, it's 7:30. Whoa. Okie dokie. Well, I keep hitting that darn phone. Sorry, I'm gonna hold this. It's gonna have to hold this up here in the way of the camera here for just a minute to get this corner. Trying to hold this up and keep my whole pocket from, or my whole base from being sucked in as a ripple in my thing here. All right, there we go. This isn't difficult. It's just because it's in a little tight space, you just got to be careful. And I'm going slow to make sure I don't mess it up too much. All right. If I have any viewers that live in the, I just got my notification. I read it. I just got it actually as I clocked out, when I clocked out of work, when I checked my emails real quick before I ran downstairs, because I ran downstairs, hurried and fixed and ate dinner before I did this. I am going to be down in Georgetown, Kentucky. It's about an hour away from me, but I don't mind driving the hour. And it's north of Lexington, Kentucky. Georgetown is. So if anybody that watches me that's in that area, I'm going to be down there in May. I can't remember the exact date. I will have it in my Facebook, where my About Me or my bio, I think, is where I list all of that stuff at. I got to do this side. I forgot to do this one real quick. I got to do half of this. But anyway, like I say, it's about an hour south of me. So, and it's going to be, it's at the, it's called the Georgetown Church of Nazarene is where it's at. They have a craft show. They have indoor and outdoor spaces. And I think I got me an indoor space because I told her I didn't want outdoor. I'm trying to stay away from outdoor this year, big time, because me and outdoor does not get along very well. It's not the weather itself. Worrying about getting rained out is one thing. It's that I don't do good at those shows. There we go. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's the what I have, because I have a little more of a... when people always ask me at the craft shows, how did you do? Because like the other crafter vendors will ask me how I did, you know, blah, blah. And I'll always say that, you know, I do have a unique product. Not that, you know, everybody is going to want. So I expect, you know, certain things. I expect not to, you know, sell thousands of dollars worth of stuff like some people do. Well, some people don't sell thousands, but let me see what we got. I'm missing. Delphine, did you run the show called Friends? Who names oh, is that why she gets the names from? She names it after that show, but she is not a fan of the show. Oh, that's funny. I did watch Friends. I think I only watched the first season of Friends. And I don't really like the show for my own reasons. I'm not a huge fan of Friends, but I have watched the first season of it. Yes. But that was the only season I watched of it. But anyway, so there we go. See, did you see how I got that? And then you've got this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down a little bit of my seam allowance on this, on the back, just like you do any other seam allowance. I'm going to trim it down about 1/4 of an inch away from the stitching. And that's for obvious, you know, that's the cut down bulk, so on and so forth. And I will still, and I'll also cut that little bit of that divider pocket because it's really thick, and I don't want it to pop up in my bag and cause like a extra bump in the bottom of my bag. Which one was Regina in that show? I wonder. I can't. Like I said, I mean, I know. Okay, so the one she just did today, the release, Rachel. Okay, I get that one. Was Regina, is that the blonde? Was that her? Or, I don't know. And I'm not a huge fan of Jennifer. I'm sorry, guys. I hope I don't make anybody mad. Oh, hi, Patty. Glad you got to catch me. I appreciate it. But don't hate me, but I don't care for Jennifer Aniston at all. I don't know why. There's just some actors and I don't take to. I think it's because it wore me out. They wore me out of the whole Jennifer Aniston and the Brad Pitt thing back in the day. Wore me out. And I'm not, I mean, I used to like Brad Pitt, but I don't even... Sorry about my squeaky scissors. They need oiled and sharpened. It's annoying, I know. There we go. But anyway. Lisa Kudrow. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of actually any of the girls that's on that show, to tell you the truth. Okay. So I'm trimmed down. Okay. Thank you, Patty. I like the bag. That's funny. Okay. There's the lining. So the interior lining is all done. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to fold this down just yet because, again, to anybody who's just joined me, this is a birth bag, but I'm doing a drop-in lining because it's easier for me to do a drop-in lining than doing the birth bag, especially since I mean, my base, I've got it pretty firm. Let me show you. I had to flatten it out. It started to get in a curve to it because I sat in my little basket for so long. It started getting a curve to it. So, so here's my base. I have got a layer of Decaville Heavy. I have a layer of fusible fleece. Not fusible. Sticky fleece that I got off of Amazon. And on top of that, I threw in a 2mm layer of that foam that I got off Amazon. She's not going anywhere. She's not going to bulge at the bottom. If I have this loaded down, I don't think I'm going to see a bulge in this once it's all stitched in. A baggy bottom. Okay. So, let's throw this lining aside for now. Let me grab this panel. And this is actually the very first step of the bag is this panel. Now, I went ahead and I stitched on one of the zippers to save some time. But I need to explain real quick, like, okay, sorry, I'm reading comments. I had to stitch this on first in order to do the zipper. So I'm going to tell you really, really fast how this is done. So when you get your front panel, again, your front panel is where the pieces are cut out like a little, you got that little kind of section cut out of the side. It's not a straight piece, in other words. And you will have one lining piece looking the exact same and the exact same size as the front panel. You're going to sew these two pieces, put them right, you're going to put them right sides together, okay? And then when you put them right sides together, to sew them together, you're only going to stitch in that little curve. From here, all the way around, down to the bottom. Do not stitch, don't stitch up here. Just your seam allowance from the top of the curve all the way down to the bottom. That is the only, on both sides, that is the only place you're going to stitch this. These pieces, the top and the bottom, see how the top and the bottom are left open? That's what you're going to do. And then once you do that, you're just going to flip it to where they're wrong sides together. You know, give it a nice flat press or however you want to do it. I've just kind of worked it to that. And right now, as you can see, I've got clips keeping this held back. And then you're going to do that. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the zipper. So once you get it that way, you're not going to top stitch this. You will top stitch it when you put your zipper on, so which is kind of neat. So see how this is stitched on right here? That's my zipper, and it's stitched right on into the curve, and that's going to give you my top stitch and sew on the zipper. She does tell you to put the zipper pulls on before you do this. As long as my zipper pulls put on before I baste this shut, I'm good. So I'm going to leave my zipper pull off until I'm ready to baste it shut. So I'm going to grab my other zipper piece of zipper tape right here. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on one side of the zipper tape, not the just the one side. I hope that quick explanation helps. I mean, she does a good job in her pattern, but I wanted to just kind of explain to you that I had to do that step before I put this zipper on. And since I didn't do it live, I just thought I'd mention it real quick. Okay. So zipper tape just on, or sorry, double-sided tape just on one side of the zipper. I'm going to get my little clips off here. Nobody wants to be down here with me in the basement tonight. My husband went upstairs. My daughter came down and grabbed her stuff. Nobody wants to listen to my irritating voice tonight. I just don't know why. So there we go, is that. So there's the piece. Remember, this little top divot here is left open. You don't sew that shut. Oh, also when you do before you turn it, before I turned it, I'm going to show you this real fast. Before I turned it, I did do, she has you put snips in it, but if you've got pinking shears, I just did pinking shears along that little curve, and then I just kind of did it at an angle. See how it's still straight there? And then I just did my pinking shears and just kind of went like that. Yes, I do. I do have a lot of room. I do share it though. My daughter, she does paper crafting, not paper crafting. She does like stamping cards, making homemade cards. Okay, ladies, I can't speak in Hindi, and I'm not sure. Okay. But anyways, so you just kind of want to do that so that lays nicely. All right, let's get this done. My lining is starting. So I'm going to take my zipper tape, and we're going to place the, take the back off. If I can get it off. There we go. And then you're going to put your, I'm going to lay my zipper right side up. You're funny. I only speak in English. I could not learn Spanish in high school. I failed. I didn't fail Spanish, but I failed learning Spanish, and so I dropped out. Anyway, yes, you can. I do have my subtitles on, so if anyone is here that does not understand English, you can always, I should have, you can always do it in replay, and subtitles are turned on, so you will be able to see it in the subtitles after the live is over. Okay, and it does take a bit to upload. All right, so I'm going to put my zipper tape, again, I'm putting it right side up, and I'm going to lay my front panel down on top like this, wrong side of my zipper panel to the right side of my, the wrong side of my front panel to the right side of my zipper tape. There we go. All right. She gives you a measurement and how much space that you're going to need between the side of your panel to the very far end of your tape. So when you lay this down, you can, I start by matching this up. That may not always be exactly correct, but that's how I start. And then I make adjustments after. So you're going to line the bottom. Let me start. There we go. I'm going to line the bottom of my zipper tape to the bottom of my piece here. Like that. And then, so that way your piece of your zipper tape kind of goes up in here a little bit. But I'm going to use this edge here as my guide to my zipper tape. But then once I do that, before I like push it down or, make anything permanent, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure from, I wish my sand machine keeps getting in the way. I'm going to measure from here to the edge of my tape and see what that measurement is, because she gives you a measurement on how far that's supposed to be. Yes. Shajiba, yes. When a live is over, it will, you can replay it, watch it and replay with the subtitles on. Unfortunately, and in my world of my job, we're not supposed to say unfortunately in my job, because that's what they call a tragic word. But anyways, I hate saying the word unfortunately, because all I can think of is that. But anyways, once it's over, then it will replay with subtitles on, but they do not do subtitles on lives. YouTube doesn't do subtitles in lives. And I'm sorry that it's that way, but that is how it works in the YouTube verse. Okay, so I'm going to measure over. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit so it's flat. So I'm going to measure from the edge of my vinyl or my piece, my folded edge, over to the edge of my zipper tape, making sure that that is that measurement she gives you. And you just make adjustments that according to that. So I'm just going to kind of go down. I got a little bit of a wave in my zipper, so I'm going to fix that. Tuck it in a little more. Make sure it's straight. It wants to, in the center, it wants to stick out a little bit. So I'm just making the adjustments according to what she gives you. It should measure. And it takes a little minute to do that, to make sure. Okay, there you go. I got it. I'm going to push it down so it sticks kind of good. I mean, that's not going to be perfect stick, but let me get this out of the way. All right. So there you go. So again, your measurement's going to be from the edge of your folded edge of your main piece here to the edge of your zipper tape. Bye, Milo Sutherland. Bye all, I'm assuming. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All right. Now you're going to top stitch from the bottom all the way around to the side. And then what I usually do when I get to this part here at the top, because it kind of wants to pull up, I'll go ahead and I'll probably use my flathead screwdriver and just kind of bring it down just to make sure it lays down nicely and it doesn't try to pull up. But I'm going to start from down at the bottom. Since I'm sewing it this way, I'm going to start from the bottom and go all the way up to the and through the whole all the way up around the top here. All right, let me get my seam allowance or my stitch length back. All right. And of course, top stitching is 1/8 of an inch from your edge. Oof, it started to wave again. Oh well. My zipper tape is waving at me and I don't like it. All right. There we go. Just trying to keep it that little sticky outy part, I guess you could call it. I don't know what you call it. Flat. I hope I don't hit that camera. Here, I'm going to pull this up again. Did you get your maker's box? Oh. I'm sorry, you're talking to Delphina. Oh, you guys do the hippie box? Do you guys do the hippie box? Oh, I see some of her stuff. It's kind of neat. I have had to curtail some of my stuff. Since I have to move later in the year, I have to be very mindful of my spending right now. All right, so there you go. So both of my zippers are now on the sides here of my piece. Front, and this is my front panel. Remember, this front panel, the pocket is a full through pocket. There's not a divider in the center of the pocket. It is one big, huge pocket. I don't know if there's any way you could divide it if you want to, because if you did, it would mess this up unless you want to do a seam. I don't know. I've not thought that far. So I'm trying not to think about things to add to it, right? I'm doing it the way she wrote it up. I was trying to think of a different way to do the back anchors, and I forgot who mentioned it to me. I don't know if it was Cynthia or not, but someone made the comment. Oh no, it was Valerie. Talked about how I could do the strap connectors in the back without hooking it onto the lining, which I'm not going to do it that way. I'm not sure So I'm just going to do it the way the pattern's written. I forgot to trim up the sides. What do I got going here? I forgot to trim the sides. I'm going to trim this real fast. I forgot to trim. I'm going to say it again, and I'm repeating myself. I know, I'm sorry. The seam allowance is on the side, and that's where a lot of bulk is at, because that's where my pocket's at. So let me trim this real fast. Sorry, I picked up my lining and realized, I got to hold this, be careful. Realized I didn't trim the sides with my squeaky scissors. A lot of bulk. Can you hear how, I mean, this thing, I think the bag is going to weigh more than the stuff that I'm going to put in it. I can't wait to cram it full of stuff, you guys. I don't know about you. I don't get, as most of you know, I work from home. I don't get out like I used to. And like when I used to go to work in the office, I still go to work. I just go not far from for my work. But anyway, when I used to go in the office, we would work like 2 days at home and 3 days in the office. It was like a you know, half and half kind of deal. So I would, of course, carry my laptop back and forth. And of course, I had a new, I would come in, I think every other day, I'd have a different bag, my laptop in a different bag. People would always, of course, people would always comment on my bags. That was before I started selling them. But anyways, yeah, I'd come in it seems like every other day I put my laptop in a different bag. But I did love cramming my bags full of stuff when I used to go in the office. I think that's the only thing I miss about going in the office, is carrying my bags in. Now I don't go anywhere, so, but my craft shows. So there we go. All right, enough of that. Front pocket's achieved. So now once you get to the front pocket, let me get my tablet back. Sorry guys. That's why I said make sure y'all have your snacks and things. And if you can't stay, I totally 100,000% get it. If you got to leave, because this will be late. I've got one more episode of my show, of the show we've been watching. We still got one more episode to go of a stupid show that I started watching when it was good, and now it's like I watched it now because I've watched it for so long. I think this is the last season I'm going to watch of it. It's just become ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to mark my center of my piece. Oh, you still love going around? Yeah, I do. I love big bags. I really do. It's just that, I just don't have a huge need for them anymore. So I'm making a need. I'll do craft shows just so I can have a need of big bags, right? So I'm just marking my centers. Since I put my zipper tape on, my center is off just a tad bit. Not sure why. So I'm just matching it up a little bit. Making it work for me. All right. So from the top of your bag, you're going to measure out what she gives you. Where's my other ruler? Where is my 2.5? Oops. Where is my other ruler? I'll just use this one. All right. So she gives you the measurement and how far apart to place it. Now, please keep in mind, because the pattern is written for 3 different sizes, each bag has a different measurement of where you're going to go out to place your strap connectors. Okay? So read carefully, and mark where you're supposed to go based on the type of bag the size of bag you're making. So let me get my ruler in the way that I can read these goofy numbers, because I'm not smart sometimes. Traveler is what, blah, blah. Okay. I watch, and I'm going to say this real funny. It's real funny. So I like to watch Okay So. I don't know her name. And if she's mentioned her name before, I apologize to her. But the lady who does Okay So bags tutorials, she does like little Bits. I think it's something Bits. I watch her stuff. She has to be a math teacher. I'm going to tell you, she's got to be a math teacher. Or she's just a math wizard to figure this stuff out. I'm assuming she figures it all out on her own. I don't know. I was watching her newest one tonight. And she puts algebra in there. You lose me in algebra. Algebra and I don't like each other. I'm just going to throw that out there. Algebra has hated me in my entire life. Well, since 9th grade, because we learned algebra in 9th grade. Actually, 8th grade. I started learning algebra in 8th grade because I was in, go figure, I was in more an advanced math class when I was in 8th grade. So they thought, oh, Tony can go straight into algebra instead of doing a quote-unquote pre-algebra class. Now, mind you, I went to school in the late 70s and graduated in 83. So graduation requirements were way different back then than they are now. Some people would go into what they called pre-algebra when we got into the 9th grade, and some went straight into algebra. They never should have done that to me. Never. Just saying. We hate each other with a passion. Anyways, so she was going in there, like I said, she was giving us some kind of algebraic expression, and I'm like, okay, whoop, I'm done. You lost me. All right, so I'm going to take the measurement. So I've got my measurement. She's great tips, and I love watching her. And I like, and it was the one where the pouch to get that lining fitting, which is really interesting. So yeah, I love watching her stuff, but you start throwing those algebra equations at me, and that's it. You lose me. All right, so where I got that mark, I'm going to take my strap connector. I'm trying to get my piece over so you can see. I'm going to take my strap connector, and where that mark is, I'm going to put it to the right side of the mark. Does she have you stick it out? Yeah, she does have you sticking it out. Let's see, how far? To the right of center, place with these marks with blah blah of end of the extending past. Okay, so I put my double-sided tape too close to the edge. So I'm going to take it and lower it down a little bit. So she does have you stick it out a little bit. My fingers are, there we go. I think the oils in my skin are causing that. There we go. So let me get a little bit of an idea of how far down to place it. All right. So again, you're going to go to the right of it and place it down. Again, I put a little bit of double-sided tape to hold it still, but I think, yeah, it's not going to stick because I already peeled it with my fingers and my old greasy fingers. Took some of that stick out of it. All right. Ugh. All right, so I'm going to pull a little closer to me so I can, I should have marked this, but all right, I'm just going to move my thumb. Just going to use my thumb as the, all right, so we're going to stick this down here like that. So it sticks out a little bit, as you can see there. And then that's what it's going to look like on the front. Make sure you lay it down like this because you're going to flip it up with the top piece. You've got a top strip going here at the top. On a top strip going across the top. Go figure. All right. So I'm going to do that to the other side. I need to put my zipper pulls on before I baste this shut. I'm looking for my zipper tape. I got to remember what I was doing. I did a little extra on my stitching. I did, instead of just doing 2 rows of stitching, and you're not going to see it really, but instead of doing the 2 rows of stitching, I went and did 4 because my side connectors for my crossbody strap is 4 rows because I want it secure. because it's a big bag and it's going to be loaded down. So when you do the other side, well, it helps to remove the backing for it to stick. So when you stick down the other side, you're going to, whoops, making sure we got it here. You're going to go to the left of the line on the other side. So from the middle, you got your little dash marks at the measurement she gives you. Right side, you're going to go to the right of it. The left side, you're going to go to the left of the little dash mark from your center out. Okay? Now you're just going to baste these on. And you're just going to, yeah, just give it a little bit of a baste. You can go a quarter. You can go, I would not go more than a quarter, but you can. And I'm going to start my basting right on top of the connector, because if I go before, it'll shift because of that thickness. Okay. Now, honestly, actually, I need to go all across because I need to baste this whole thing shut. So let me put these on first, and then I'm going to baste it shut. Because again, if I try to sew this from here, I mean, I can grab a hump jumper and try and use that, but this really makes sure that it's on there before I start to baste this shut. There we go. And then when I baste it shut, I'll just sew right over it again, which is not a big deal. Just don't, you know, just be careful when you stitch on some of your vinyl, because some vinyls are a little more softer than others. And you can start tearing your vinyl if you don't. So I'm going to completely not seal, but I'm going to baste this completely shut. And I'm just going to go straight all the way across. Now the zipper, there's one thing I do want to mention is the zipper tape is a little long. See how the zipper tape is a little long in the back? You can trim this down if you're worried about this zipper tape being caught in your seam allowance at the top. I'm going to trim it just a tiny bit. Let me grab the right scissors. Just a tiny bit. But I honestly don't want to go too close to that stitching because I don't want it to pull. But I do want to tap just a little bit so it doesn't get caught in the way of my seam allowance. And of course, since I cut my zipper tape, see, I just cut a little, just about 1/4 of an inch off. But it's up to you. But yeah, this can get in, if it's too long, it can get caught in your seam allowance. Also to note, I will not do a live next week. Since I did 3 lives between Tuesday and a week's time, I'm going to hold off doing a live next week. I probably will try to record a tutorial next week. That's what I'm going to try to do, but I don't know for sure if I'll get to that. All right, I need to give my family a break. Like I say, they all come down here and do their thing, and I need to give them a break. Plus, I need to get some stuff done here too. All right, so there's my strap connectors on the front. I'm going to go ahead and put my zipper pulls on now at the bottom. When you put your zipper pulls on, well, it's all sealed up at the top, so you can't put them on at the top. But if you install your zipper pulls before you add them to your front panel, make sure they're in the right direction. Because when you unzip this, you want to unzip it from the top down. So your zipper pull will need to be installed from the bottom up. So let me get my zipper pull on. Or you could do like me, wait until you get it right before you baste it shut, and then you put your zipper pull in the right direction, right? Because I can't put it in at the top. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. So I like that. Limited edition. I like it. I like these zipper pulls. All right, and then I am going to baste the bottom shut. Whoop, one too many. There we go. Nope. Did not slide right. There we go. All right. Let me just make sure this is nice and sealed up at the bottom, even though I already did, but still. All right. Front panel, I got my zipper pulls on. I'm going to baste this shut, and then I'm going to grab my top. And when I baste it shut, I am actually going to sew across the bottom so my zipper pull, if it gets hit or gets sliding, it won't come off. Did I miss something? All the big bag stuff. All right, so I'm going to stitch across the bottom of my zipper. I'm going to actually back stitch over that zipper teeth there. All right. We're getting there. All right, now I'm going to grab one of my exterior top panel pieces. If I can get a hold of it. Let's get this out of the way. So you got a top exterior. Yes, exterior top. You've got two of those. So I'm going to grab one, mark my centers. And I'm going to stitch this on to the top of my front panel piece. Now this is interfaced with Decoville Light. Again, since I am dropping this in, I already have my double-sided tape on for my fold down to save time. If anybody is curious how I decided on where to fold it down to, because it's not written, I'm just going to clip it on while I talk. Since it's not written as a drop-in, what I did is I took her seam allowance that is written in the pattern to sew the when you do the stitch the bag together before you birth it. I took that and multiplied it by 2, and I can do multiplications. I just don't do algebra. I have to do multiplications. There's a story in that too. You guys, you learn so much from me on these lives. It's not even fun. When you get done with the live, it's like you probably have known me for years. But that's how I do it. And then I just mark down and we're all aligned there. I normally don't put the tape on like right now, but I'm trying to save time. Yeah, I do multiplication that I have to, because when I was in school, now this is going to be hard for you guys to believe, so don't be in shock when I tell you, I talked a lot in school. I got in trouble in school for talking. I know. Learn something new every day, right? I need to get a piece to jump over these pieces here. Here we go. But anyways, so little Miss Talky Talk here got in trouble in school because she was not paying attention in class. Oh, I got to scoot back on my bench. I wasn't paying attention. This was in... It's curl math. Yeah, I know. Algebra. But where's my... There it is. My piece I can't get up under my foot. Ugh, I got to scoot so I get... There we go. Anyways, so in 4th grade, that's when we learned multiplication tables. I know they learn much earlier now. So my teacher calls my dad, and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Edwards, your daughter is not learning multiplication tables in school, and if she doesn't learn them, she won't go to the 5th grade." And of course that scared my dad, because he didn't know that I was not learning my multiplication tables. My daughter probably don't want to hear the story again. So I'll let you pass before I tell my story.
You're talking about the multiplication.
That's why I'm waiting, because I know you don't. But anyways, and you'd have to know my dad. I have, oh, thank you for whoever retracted that message for me. I appreciate it. I'm glad I got you guys. Glad you guys got my back. Oh, yes. So we did. We had to, oh, Delphina said hi, Cassie.
I can hear you.
Delphina said hi.
Hey, Delphina.
Anyway, did you hear Delphina? They don't anymore. Wow. So yes, we had to memorize multiplication tables. So anyways, my dad didn't have a great upbringing. And so he dropped out of school very young age. And he himself had to teach himself stuff as he got older, because, you know, he got older, then he had a family, and then realized that, you know, I had to learn this, you know, he had to learn stuff. So my dad, everything he knew, he had to teach himself a lot of the stuff. So we get that done here, like that. You're going to take this upper piece here, fold it up, and then you're going to take your little strap connector pieces and fold that down, and you're going to top stitch on the front panel bottom piece, this floral piece, not up here. So you're going to top stitch this. What that does is that pulls the strap anchors up, and it also does give it, also secures them. So when you do the top stitching, be careful before you get to this. If you might maybe want to use a hump jobber or a piece of little scrap like I do, to make sure you don't like skip as you hit that piece. So when I get to that, I'll slow down and do that. I'm just going to fold this down. But anyways, so anyways, as I was saying, so let me get my pattern back up. It has, so Dad had to teach himself the multiplication tables so he could teach me multiplication tables. I had many a night sitting at the kitchen table crying because I had to learn my multiplication tables. No lie. That's why I waited to tell my daughter's heard this story so many times. Between me telling it, she grew up hearing my dad talk about it. I think my mom's even told the story to her, my kids. And so yes, Dad had to teach himself. I mean, Dad knew multiplication, don't get me wrong, but Dad had to teach, because we had to learn and recite them. So Dad had to teach me, and we had flashcards, and yes, I had to sit at the kitchen table and I had to memorize my multiplication tables so I could pass the 4th grade. Do you need to add a revet to make it more secure on your connector? I know there is something that I can change. I'll have to read it, Delphina. There's something I know I can change. And I thought it was it like bad words or something? Or was it just, I didn't see what it was, so I'm not sure what it was that you guys had to remove for me. I'm so glad you guys are here to help me out. And you know, I wanted to make the both of you moderators, but I hated to ask you guys that. So I'm top stitched. Boom, look at that. Isn't it already coming together? All right. Now, we're not going to put that bottom piece on yet because that doesn't go on yet. That goes towards the thing. Oh, yes, I will add strap connectors to my rivets to my strap connectors. You actually do that after you you top stitch. So yes, there will be rivets right below the strap connectors, right in here, where that little piece hangs down. You'll put it right below this. But yeah, I will do that. Okay. But yes, so we'll do that. Yeah, I will get that done. It's but I want to do the other side before I do the away when I walk away, I can get it all done at one time. So now I am going to grab your, so, oh, I'm trying to get, this is, let's see. Place exterior top. Oh, wait a minute. And then your thing. Okay. We don't add. Oh, wait a minute. I think I missed one little step. Hold on, guys. I did. I missed one step, which it's okay. I did. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I missed the step. Now, I can fix it. It's my bag, so it'll be okay. Or not unstitching. I will make this work. I forgot to put the back to my lining. I knew something didn't look right. I forgot to put the back of my pocket piece on. You're supposed to do that before you put this top piece on. You put your connectors on. Let's see. You put this on, piece on, before the connectors. And yes, I know these don't match. I ran out of this color, so I had to use this to do my bag. And since nobody's going to see it, it's fine. So I have to come up with a way real fast. Ugh, that's going to be ugly. I think I know how to do it. All right. So, Tony is going to do a really quick fix. I know. No one will know, and it's my bag, so I will only be the only one that knows. So I am just going to match it up from the bottom and the sides. If I can get my fingers to work, we're going to get this on. Sorry, I get talking. You know how that goes. You get talking, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I was a talker in school, but I did pass 4th grade, by the way. And I used to know, I used to have my multiplication tables. Keyword, used to be able to recite my multiplication tables with my eyes closed by the time I left for 4th grade. All right. So, this is what's going to be on the back. It's going to be okay. I mean, this kind of, it's not going to rip. The only thing I'm not going to like, what I'm going to have to do, and it's not my favorite thing right now, but in order to not have it as an opening right here, I am going to have to, if this was a bag I was going to sell, I definitely, and it wasn't alive, I would rip this out and redo this piece. And I would be able to get really close to this stitch holes, so I wouldn't be worrying about stitching, you know, the holes in this thing. But what I'm going to have to do in order to seal this up is I am going to have to stitch right over top of, you know what I can do? I can double stitch. Go figure. Nope, I'm not going to stitch over this. I'm going to go right below that. I don't know if you can see my fingernail. There we go. I'm going to go right below. I'm going to give me a double stitch. It'll just be a double stitch here at the top. But you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Double stitch to the rescue. So I am just going to line it up. And give me a stitch. And that'll hold that. That'll keep me my pocket. Told you guys, if there's a way to fix it without ripping a bag apart. Now, again, if this was a bag I was going to sell, I would take it apart. Now, this will be a bag to show. Nobody's going to see it. What's we got? Just like Susan. Yes, Diane. I think that's what popped in my head. Hey, sometimes you just gotta do a double stitch. There's a sticker for you. Sometimes you just gotta do a double stitch. I'm going slow to make sure it stays straight with my other stitching, because if I go fast and I wave, it'll look funny. So look at that. You can't even tell. Look at that. I'm going to show you guys. Look. Woo. See? Ha. And it's closed up in the back at the top. I got that. I'm going to keep that long for, you know, poolage. But yeah, there we go. All right, let's get it basted shut. Silly me. I was trying so hard not to mess up this time, especially since that what was brought to my attention on that Selma. Oh, I feel so bad. I mean, I don't want to say it was entirely my fault. I mean, I should have read the pattern better when I was doing the live, but she did wish that the directions would have been a little clearer. What made me think about it is after I sat and thought about it for a minute, I realized that Sammy's patterns, how she does her slip pockets, and that's what made me think, oh no, that's what was wrong, what I did wrong. I should have known. I've done enough for her patterns, right? All right, let's get this finished out. Oop, hitting the camera again. Again, this is just a basting, so make sure, like especially like when you're around the zipper and stuff, that you don't go too far out, so your stitching doesn't show up when you sew your side panels on. I love these zipper pulls. Kasaya's new zipper pulls, limited edition. She has a few new zipper pulls. I was trying to be really, really good, which I was proud of myself. I wish I had gotten more, but simply because I had, let's just say yesterday when I got, before the end of the day, I had 3 new pens. Before the day was out, I'm just going to go all the way up. There we go. I had to order a zipper tape from Barb. I got a zipper tape for my cute little Eva bag that I'm making for a coworker, which sadly she's going to a different department. She just told us yesterday. Not happy about that. I really like her. I've known her for 18 years, and she's going to a different department. It makes me sad. But anyway, there we go. So there's my pocket. Boom. All right. We'll grab our back. So, of the back panel pieces, when you cut your back panel, you'll cut like 1 exterior for your back panel, and then you will cut 3 linings for your back panel. It says 3 lining pieces of the back panel piece. One of the back panel lining pieces is this. That's why I should have had it with that, and I would have remembered to do it. And then so you're going to have 2 pieces left, and you're going to take 1 of your lining pieces. I'm going to set this aside right now. You're going to take 1 of your lining back panel pieces, grab the rest, your other 2 strap connectors. I'm going to mark my centers. Yeah, that's one thing I could have done, is prep my pieces. By prepping my pieces, having my centers marked. Now, where's my good scissors? What I just do with my good scissors? I don't know. Let me get these scissors. Oh, I think they're in the drawer, but let's see if these will cut. Okay. And this is the part that I wasn't quite sure if I was going to change it or not, but I did not have the time to sit and think about it, and I've got tape sticking to me. So I got my centers marked. You're going to do the exact same thing with your strap connectors, except you're going to attach it to your lining piece. All right. So I'm going to get my marks, get set. Bad. All right. We are going to get her done tonight. 1, 2, yeah, and yeah. See, I had to stop myself. Okay. Get this done. If I'm the last man standing, sitting here, I will record to the end. For those who cannot stay to the end, I will make sure I record to the end in case anybody wants to. I'm going to mark my point so I make sure I'm sewing it right. But anyways, I will, again, I'm going to record to the end or stay live to the end so it records all the way. In case anybody wants to see how this completes, how it's finished out and stuff, in case you can't stay. Because I 100% understand if you cannot stay. This is going to be a longer video. That's why I put there, grab your snacks, get you some coffee. I'm here till the end. Oh, Lindiana, thank you. Yeah, but it's not your bedtime. It's our bedtime over here on the East Coast. Up on the East. I'm really not on the coast. I'm Midwest, but I'm still in the Eastern time zone. I mean, Indiana, which is, depending on what part of Indiana you go, I'm like 2 hours away from Indianapolis. And I think the time zone changes just before. I think it's just before Indy. Because Indy's on Central Time. That I know. Our corporate headquarters is in Indianapolis. Not giving away who I work for, because you'll hate me if you know who I work for. They are in Indy, our corporate offices. So I know they are on Central Time Zone. Because whenever we record stuff, a lot of our time stamps are Central Time Zone. Oh, what's my mark there? Needed to go below that. I don't tell who I work for. I do too, Lindiana. See, now if we were Delphina, we would never have to change our time zones. It's another good reason to move to Arizona, right? They stay on Mountain Time Zone, and I put my tape up above the line instead of below the line like a smart person. So I'm just moving my tape. That's a terrible job. All right, let me make sure I am where it should be. Yes. Okay. Ouch. Ugh, my fingers. Okay. Whoop. Now I am going to baste these on just like we did. Okay. We are having a heat wave. You're having a heat wave too, Lindy? I know Arizona is hot. Our oh, this thing moved. Our baseball team is like it's what's called the Cactus League. Our baseball team spring trains out in Goodyear, Cincinnati Reds. So when they talk to our little sports dude out there, I listen to talk radio, guys. I'm sorry. I listen to talk radio as much as I can take it, and then I do switch it off because there's one guy in the morning that I can't handle sometimes. But anyway, when they talk to our little sports guy out there in Arizona, you know, what's going on with the Reds? Like, I care. I don't. So there, we got that stitched on. These are basted on. So now what you're going to do with these nice floppy things, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the remaining exterior top piece. We're going to go ahead and attach the exterior top piece to the lining piece. Okay. This part, I know I'm right. But anyway, yeah, they were talking about how hot it was out there. Oh, it's so hot. I can't breathe. Well, they don't say that, but I'm a whiner. Well, yeah, be in stinking Cincinnati, Ohio when it's 7 degrees outside. No, thank you. When it was 70 degrees Sunday. I'm just saying. That's it. Yeah. Oh, wow. You guys are killing me. 7 degrees this morning, guys. It was very cold. We had a little bit like a rainish, snowish drizzle, weird stuff yesterday. And because the temperature dropped, we had black ice on the roads and wrecks all over the place this morning. And I just listened to it right now. I'm like, thank goodness I'm not out there in that mess. So, again, top exterior to the lining piece that you've got your straps hooked on. Do your stitch it at the seam allowance that she gives you. Get my little piece of scrap here. Yeah, nasty, nasty stuff. And I think first day of spring's what, this weekend? Now, mind you, Saturday, which is how many days away? 3.5 days, 3 days away technically. It's going to be back up in the 60s, maybe 70s Saturday. Which is good. I'm not going to complain. Number one, because it's warm. Number two, that's my show Saturday. And my last show got people got scared of the storms because they were predicting all kinds of crazy weather. That Saturday, my last craft show that I had, people kind of stayed away from the show because they were scared they were going to get in some bad storms. I mean, I guess I can understand them. I wouldn't leave either, but you know. But yeah, so we'll have nice weather for this show. She's a bit upset. Yeah, it's crazy weather everywhere right now. Crazy weather. So we're going to top stitch just like we did on the front panel. Oops, wait a minute. There we go. Almost unthreaded my needle. So I'm going to top stitch right there. Now for the back panel, you're not going to put your rivets in yet. That's why I'm waiting to do. I was going to do my rivets all at once, so I got to get the back panel done, and then I'll go set my rivets. I should have brought my rivet press over, but when I get up, you can see my mess. Anyway, I've got this space behind me is such a hot mess right now. I've got stuff out where I'm trying to, my last show, I realized there were some things on my list because I just bring a list with me and mark off my list. And things were on the list, weren't on the list. So I was trying to update my stuff, my inventory of my purses and stuff. And so I've got a mess everywhere. Everywhere. It's usually because I'm cutting bags out, but I'm not cutting things out right now. So this is what we got right now. All right. So once you do that, I'm reading. That's what I'm doing. Place the remaining lining back main to the exterior. All right, so we're going to set this piece aside. I'm just going to set it right over here. Now I'm going to grab my exterior back main and my other, last lining back main. We're going to put them right sides together. And we're just going to make we're going to stitch together just like we do any other slip pocket. So I'm just give me a clip here and get these set. So stitch this on at the seam allowance that she gives you. And she's pretty consistent in her seam allowances all throughout the pattern. Now, she does list it on each step, no matter what it is. If it's the same, you know, like some will say, unless otherwise noted. She is pretty good about keeping the seam allowance listed in each step that she gives you. So that's good. But anyway. Whoop, whoop. Have I made the other Josephina? Do I have that pattern? I have to look to see if I have that pattern, Delphina. I have a few of them of hers that I want to make that I just ripped my fingernail. Oh, yikes. Hold on, guys. I took my nail polish off my fingernails. I have very soft nails. And they look really nice when they're polished. But I took my polish off my nails. Oh, that hurts. Hold on. There we go. Another fingernail down. Anyways, since I've taken them off, I've broken 2 fingernails. But see, I'm going to my rheumatologist tomorrow. And I want to make sure my nails, my polish is off my nails. So she can, you know, when they do their thing. Because of my goofy fingernail. I wanted her to see how bad my joints are. But anyway, I mean, not that you couldn't tell how bad my joint is by looking at it. But anyway. So yeah, I've not had any nail polish on my nails for 2 days. And I have broken 3 fingernails since then. So, and this one's been bent twice. I've got lines where I've bent it back, but it just hasn't broke yet. So, fingernails will be clipped probably tomorrow. I've got broken too many nails to keep them to like that. I like it when they grow out, and it's taken me quite a long time to get them to grow back out again. But so I am just now folding my lining piece over so where they're wrong sides together to my exterior back. And I'm just going to top stitch. And this is what's going to make the front part of my slip pocket. Just like, oops. So I'm going to top stitch here. Like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoops. These out of the way. I kind of figured that out when she asked me. Did you send me a message, Delphina? Yeah, do me a favor and send me a message and remind me to do that. I'll look it up and see if I have it. I'll probably look it up tonight because I will be curious if I do have it or not, since you mentioned it. But I can put that on my radar. Just send me a little reminder. You can either email me, because I'm sure you still have the Quilted Cactus email, or you can message me. So there we go. So that's what it looks like now. So this is the back slip pocket piece here. And then what we're going to do now is we are going to grab this piece that we've already made here. And we are going to place this piece. You're going to put the lining piece here over top this piece here, like that, to where you see the exterior, and you're going to line it up at the bottom. Make sure your lining piece is nice and straight. Let's see. There we go. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to, again, I'm lining it up to the bottom. Oh, this comes out a little bit. Let me clean that edge a little bit. We'll be all right. Let me see. I'm just trying to line it up, but my lining goes over just a hair. There we go. I'm going to clip this corner to make sure it stays put. And I'm going to put it over here on this side. Josephina. All right, so I'm just clipping this up, and then I'm just going to baste the front part of the slip pocket to the part, this piece here. So we'll have that nice little slip pocket. Now this is where she does the riveting, and I'll show you. Hold on, let me pull this up. I need to pull this up just a hair. Just make sure when you line it up, I mean, you line it up at the bottom, but just make sure that when you do line it up, if you need to pull it up just a hair like I did, to make sure you don't see the lining. Unless you don't mind seeing the lining. But I'm pulling it up just a hair so I don't see that lining piece there. Like that. So it looks nice and hidden, sort of, kind of. All right. So I'm just kind of making sure everything's right. So I'm going to base this on. And then after I base this on, I'll show you how you do the rivets. I'm going to go all the way around. I would look it up now, but if I go look it up on my tablet, I'll have to go back to this pattern because I can't look up, not like my laptop where I can go and open up several documents at once. This only lets me do, because I have to go to my cloud and pull this up from my cloud. It only lets me pull one up at a time on my tablet. If I can do it more than one, I don't know how to do that. There's a little bit hanging over on the edges of my lining piece, so I will clean that up to match. Oops. She did one a few years ago. Okay. It sounds familiar, and that might be why it sounds familiar, because I'm sure I've watched it. You got me curious now, and I'm wanting to go look it up. All right. Let me clean up. You know, I do not know what I did with my good scissors. I must have dropped them in. Did I drop? I really hope I didn't drop my good scissors on the floor. Nope. Oh my gosh, here they are. I'm just going to clean up where my lining peeks through so it doesn't mess me up when I'm stitching my side of my bag together. And when I stitch all this up, I don't like that hanging over. It messes me up. Oh, I can't see that. Oh, did you put a link in there? Now, which link is that? Is that the link for what I'm doing, or is that the Josephina link? I can't. It's blue, and I can't read that. I mean, it's blue because it's a link. I get that, but if for some reason it's really hard to read because of the color of my table. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Thanks for that link. I appreciate it. All right. There we go. Now, this is what you do. You will put, see how this pocket is kind of floppity? What she has you do is you put the rivets through the pocket all the way to the back here where the little tab, you're going to put your rivet all the way through. What that does is that gives you, number one, it helps to secure these little guys here. And it keeps this pocket from being floppy. You still got plenty of room to put your hand, and it's still a full pocket. You just can't put like something obviously big in it at one time. That was why I was thinking of doing like a nice snap closure here to keep it from flopping, and then figure out a way to do this. Like I said, I just didn't want to think about it. And I know Valerie had a way. I can't remember what she told me. And I just didn't sit down to think about what she was saying. My brain just didn't want to do that. So I'm going to make my marks for my, let me go get my stuff. I'm just going to bring it over. Oh, I've sat so long. I need to, it's like working. I've sat so long. Look at this. I have got a ruler. Well, I just found my 1 by 6 inch ruler. Oh my gosh, I found 2 rulers. I found the base to my bag. What else can I find over here? I'm just grabbing my rivet press. Oh, I'm going to drop it. Grab my rivet press. There we go. I love this thing, you guys. This is Cam Snaps. I love this thing. If you can afford to put this in your bag making world, I highly suggest a rivet press like this. My rivets, I would go sideways with my rivets half the time, and they were always ugly. And they were just never right. And man, oh man, I think it makes a rivet look so much better. All right. Am I going to have to get my little Japanese hole punchy thing? I'm thinking I might have to. This might be too hard to punch a hole. Let me do a practice shot. Let me see if I can do it. All right, let me make a mark to where to put my rivet. I think she gives you ideas, but I am just going to do it my way. Okay, there's the center. And where is, okay. Right there should be a good spot. It's still on the little tab sticking out. I'm going to punch 1 hole first. I gotta hold this. I'm going to do this one first in the pocket part, so that way when I punch it down through here, it doesn't slide. And then I'm just going to make my mark like through the hole like that. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to, well, it didn't go all the way through. That makes a lot of sense. I couldn't tell because that lining is the same color. There we go. Get that out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a mark like that. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't have a hole punch. It won't go. Oh, there we go. A hole punch rivet puncher thing. Oh, that's not tight. I just have this guy. Now, that would be nice if I could get one, because it's hard for me to squeeze this thing. That's why I got the tabletop one. But sometimes, you know, sometimes I have to pick it up and use it. But I'm going to, look at this, I'm going to make it work. So I don't have to get back up again to get my Japanese hole punch, or that handheld hole punchy thing. So I'm going to make it work. You're all going to see me, see what I normally do. This is what I normally do to make it work. It'd be easier if I just went and got that other hole punch, right? There we go. Don't laugh. You can laugh at me. I won't know. You can laugh. But I did it. Right on the money. Honey. All right. Let me get some rivets out. Doo-doo-doo. Let's see. Are these rivets going to be long enough? I have longer rivets. Let's get these longer rivets. They might, I don't think I have anything in between the two. Those aren't quite long enough. These might be a little longer, but I have had success with using longer rivets than with the rivet press. I've been able to punch them through. Oops, get this loop out of the way. And it not twist on me. So this short one is going to be, it would be too, those little ones would be way too short, and I would have to struggle too much to get a cap on it. And then that's when my rivets, of course, don't stay, because when it doesn't stick right. I mean, when I made my daughter the simplistic slouch bag, I made her one, the rivet came off, and I realized that because of the way I did the rivet, it was too skinny, and the cap barely was on it. Oh, I was looking for my ruler again. All right, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just going 3/8 in, 3/8. Whoops. Half inch over, 3/8 down. 1, 2, 3. That puts the center of the it puts it at the center of the strap connector, but still on that little tab that's hanging down. What time we got? 8. It is 9 o'clock, guys. Ooh, it's bedtime. Bedtime. I can't believe. Appreciate you guys. I really do. Appreciate you ones that are sticking with me. I do know that, I mean, obviously it is morning in other parts of the world. So I may have some viewers from other parts of the world, but yeah, it's late here. So I know some of you are going to have to leave. Yeah, I do. And sometimes I just fold it and scrunch it, and just be careful when you do it this way that you fold it up this way, not under, because if you fold it under, it might slip and get where you're going to punch a hole, and you might accidentally punch a hole with your piece. Now, I'm not going to tell you why I'm telling you that, because, well, you know. Why am I a bag maker when I make so many darn mistakes? Who knows? Because I love it. That's why. And why do I do tutorials? To show you my mistakes. That's what I tell people. My job that I have, that I switched into late last year, a position, I left that department because the stress of the job was just killing me, and I had to leave. I didn't have to leave. Well, no, maybe I did. I don't know. But anyway, I left, and it was just like too much. And then I went into a job that was like, oh my gosh, it was quite boring. It was the same, under the same department head, but a different position. And it was just like, I need a challenge. I just can't. Oh, it's caught on the stupid ring. There we go. I needed the challenge. It was just not enough for me. And then when I went back to my old boss, when she was hiring, she's like, you really want to come back here? I'm like, I do, actually. She goes, but do you remember? And I'm like, yes, I do remember. I remember it. But I'm going to come in at a different mindset. Yes. Janice, I'm making the Regina Phalange, Phalange by Sincerely Jen. It's a pattern from last year. In this, let me see. I've already made one, and I'll tell you my fabrics here in 2 seconds. So I made one already, of the tote size. You guys, like I said, I have got so much stuff. I've got all my little slings and wristlets out to count. It's just a mess. I can't. I'm gonna fall on her. If you see me go down, just let me lay there. That's all I gotta say. So this is the one I already made. This is the tote size here. I'm making the carrier size because I want to make a bag for my craft shows to put all of my stuff in there. Yes, Janice. But I'll tell you, yeah, I do have a link in my description. This is French Floral. All of my exterior is from Tulip Bee. Now, she does ship outside of the United States. She's based out of Florida. However, just email her. She'll let you know what the cost would be, so you know it would help you out in case you want to order from her. Oh, it's in the morning in Australia. Well, hello, Wendy. But anyways, so tulipbee.com. You can click on the link in my description. I get nothing for it. I just love promoting her stuff. I love her fabrics. Plus, she was a big help getting my YouTube channel started. But anyway, not started, but viewers. So French Floral and her signature smooth. This green is Wabi Sabi. It is not a Christmas color. Someone accused me of having Christmas colors in my bags, but that's fine. Wabi Sabi, Faux Real. And then the sides, this is a navy. I'm using navy and also her Faux Real in navy. Love it. Great stuff. Again, she does ship outside of the United States. Just send her a message, email. Now, she does get back to you quickly. However, she is at a show this weekend. She's at the Sewing Expo down in Orlando this weekend, or Lakeland, but anyway. So if you reach out to her, she may not get back to you right away. But don't, she's really good about when she's, gets back in and stuff. I'm sure she'll get right back to you if you want to know shipping costs. But yeah, she's really good. She does ship outside, and there are several people that order from her that are not in the States. All right, I got to stand up and do this, guys. All right. Yep. We got it. Bingo ringo. So there you go. But see, again, this is a nice slip pocket, but it's a full size. You just, like I say, you just can't put big stuff in there. All right, so let me real quick do these rivets, and then we can get this bag done. Oh, this is crazy. Crazy. Let me get my other ruler. I keep putting my rulers in different places every time I set one down. So I'm going to measure both of them. Let's see, half over, 1, 2, 3/8 down. There we go. 1, 2. I appreciate you watching, Wendy, and I think Janice, yeah. Yes, sincerely, Jen. Yeah. Like I say, I put a link in there for her pattern, and now this one I have to go all the way through because this is not got a pocket in it. So, but I should be able to do this. Yeah, I don't get anything for publicizing, but I do, it's because I just love this stuff and I love showing you guys. I know when I started making bags, I quite honestly, so I started doing quilts, and I started making this, let me see how I word this. I wanted to make design my own bags before I even started seriously getting into bag making. So I would sit there, I may make my quilts, but then I was trying to create some kind of fabric bag. I wish I saved it because it was quite ugly, the bag I was trying to create for myself at the time. And for most people get into this is because they wanted to make their own bag or whatever, design their own bag. Anyways, so I would just make cotton bags, and then I discovered Bianni's stuff, so I started making her bags. That was like the first patterns I would buy. I'm struggling here for a second, you guys, so hold on a second. It's getting caught on my incorrectly placed backing of my pocket. That little lip there, that shouldn't be there. There we go. But anyways, I know I should be using a different hole punch for the folks that came in after I had this whole conversation about hole punches. But I'm getting there. My Goofy, if I didn't have such large connectors, there we go, that Goofy connector. If I didn't have such large strap connectors, but anyway, I got it. We did it after half an hour later, right? But anyway, so reason I'm telling you all this is because I like to say where I get stuff at, because when I started making bags, again, I just used fabric and stuff and did by Annie, which was like a lot of quilted bags, fabrics and stuff. I started watching, well, Kasaya was one of the first ones. Jess from Oakland Roots, Kasaya, they were the first people I watched. And they would tell us where she got stuff. And that's how I got introduced into the world of vinyl bags. All Kasaya's fault. But it's always good to know what else is out there. Now, Emmeline Bags, she's based out of Canada. Which right now with our tariffs, I mean, it's not that bad right now. So I could order from Emmeline if I needed something. But she ships all over. And she's really good about, she's real clear about shipping charges if it's not in, in Canada. Emmeline Bags is great. She has great materials. Mora faux leather, love that stuff. That's great stuff. So yeah, Emmeline was one of the first bag supply makers I would I ordered from. All right, enough of that. Ugh. 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 Get that thing on the floor. I'm running out of space. Let's see. Yeah, I watched some Shinova. I watched a lot of Shinova. I've discovered Shinova by pattern releases, because she does a lot of tutorials for new patterns, because she's a big pattern tester, and that's how I learned. The first thing, but Wendy, the first bags that I made, this I mean, I'll be honest with you, how I found Kasaya and Jess from Oakland Roots was I was making the necessary clutch wallet. And I could not for the life of me figure out how to do that zipper pocket. The interior zipper pocket. Just my brain, I couldn't grasp it. And I started searching in YouTube, and that's how Kasaya started doing tutorials in YouTube, because she couldn't find tutorials that she liked or tutorials for bags that she was making. So she started doing them. But that was Kasaya, because I watched her from there, and then I would watch her here and there, and then, of course, I started watching her all the time. Jess from Oakland Roots. The double flip shoulder bag by Emmeline Bags, Janelle. She designed the double flip shoulder bag. Couldn't figure out for the life of me how to do those double pockety things. I read the pattern how many times. Jess from Oakland Roots does a great tutorial on how to explain to you how to do those pockets. And that's how we find them. And that's the great, when YouTube first came out, I was like, what's the point of YouTube? It's stupid. And this is when I was quilting, and then I found Missouri Star, became a huge fan of Missouri Star. I don't watch it so much anymore. Number one, I don't quilt as much. And number two, I really liked, oh my gosh, Jenny. I mean, her daughters and her daughter-in-law are okay, but I really like Jenny. Okay, let's get going here. I am reading comments. I just want to try to get going here. All right. So we've got our front panel and our back panel done. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to grab our side panels, which are these huge mamba domas right here. And I've already got the strap connectors sewn on. And I did, instead of 2 rows, I did 4 rows of stitching to double secure it. And plus, I like the looks of 4 rows of stitching. So, what you're going to do now is you're going to grab one of your panels. I'm going to start with my front panel. And I'm going to stitch. We're going to put these right sides together with your, right here on the side where your zipper tape is. You're going to line it up right onto the edge of your zipper tape. Now, this will do it at an angle because these are cut at an angle. This is not a straight edge, so it will be a little angle. So we're going to go ahead and get these clipped on and get them sewn on real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and clip and sew and try to keep up with comments as I'm clipping. So we can hurry up and get these on. So I'm going to sew both of these on real quick, one on each side. This will be you will be top stitching that last one in a tube. But we're going to go ahead and get these on real fast. Yeah, when I first started, Wendy, honestly, the bag that I was trying to create for myself, I need to make sure that this lines up at the top before the bottom. Give me a second. Let's see. Let's get this lined up properly. There we go. There we go. It's lined up. I had to make sure that was lined up. It was not lining up correctly at the top. There's a little, if you notice, there's like a little straight space there. I think you can see it if I put my fine finger behind it before it swoops. That's your seam allowance. So you want to make sure that that's got that, you match up. But anyways, yeah, I well, actually my daughter has my mom's old 50s Singer sewing machine. It's a nice machine. It's a heavy machine. And at one point it ended up in my room because she didn't have room in her room for it. So it ended up in my room. And at that time I had tried to make a quilt, because I started out quilting. It was just straight quilting. And I'm going to tell you what, me and that machine did not get along. It's kind of like me and algebra. We don't like each other. I could not handle the bobbin case constantly. I'm sure there's probably stuff that needed to be done to it because, again, it was my mom's 50 sewing machine, 50 Singers. It hadn't been used in years. I just thought, I just pulled it out of the case because it was one of the ones that went down inside and thought, I could just sew with it. And, it just didn't work. Watch your zipper. So that's what I started with. And I really was getting into making quilts and stuff, but I was really arguing with that machine. My little bag I was trying to invent for myself or create for myself, I hand sewed that stuff. I sat there and stitched all of that together. And my husband went to Walmart and bought me a sewing machine from Walmart, and it was less than $100. I want to say it's about $80. And it was, the most basic Walmart sewing machine you can get at the time. It was a Singer, but it was pretty basic. And that's where I started my quilting on, was that. Then the kids, a couple years later, bought me a Brother sewing machine for Christmas. When they got a little older, they bought, put their money together and bought me a Brother sewing machine. And I sewed on that. A lot of quilts came out on that machine. And then I started buying my own sewing machines. But yeah, I just knocked a whole thing of clips on the floor. But you guys, I don't care at this point. I don't care. Don't care. All right, so got this sewn on at the seam allowance she gives you. You're going to open this up and you're going to top stitch on the side panel. So make sure your seam allowance goes towards the side. Give it a nice little press on the side, away from the zipper tape, and you're going to top stitch again on the side panel. When I put this all together, I'm going to have to use the plastic clips because, again, all of my little metal clips, and I have a bunch of these little guys, just hit the floor. So we are not going to go pick this up right now. Time is it? It is 9:11. All right. So I'm going to grab the other side panel, and I'm going to take the other side panel, sew it, attach it to the other side. So we've got, it's like that. I'm going to line it up at the top and line that, because that's more important because of that little seam thing you got going there. And those of you who have just joined me, this bag is typically a birthed bag, but I am doing a drop-in on this bag. I've already got it taped to save time for when we have to do the fold down and stuff like that. So it's already, you'll see some tape on there, and that's just to save time later on. But I'm doing a drop down, and how I adjusted that, it was simply, I just took the seam allowance that she has in the pattern when you stitch it all together, and I doubled it, and that's where my drop down line starts, where my drop down line is. I just did not want to try to turn this bag because I have a very stiff bottom, very thick bottom. I mean, it's going to be hard enough to turn. Right side out, but because it'll be a big open space, it'll be easy enough. Because this has got a divider pocket in the center, I was worried that it wasn't going to pull through a lot. I just prefer the drop in. All right, let me get my zipper back up. Not difficult, it's just awkward to zip it up right here. There we go. Now oops, sorry about that. Oh, my side panel is just slightly longer, but it's not too out of whack where it's not too, it's still within my seam allowance is the words I'm looking for. So I don't need to clean that up because my seam allowance will hide that a little bit. All right, so this is what we got so far. And then we're going to top stitch this. Yeah, Shanova's really good. If you watch her, it's her YouTube page is That's So Nova, S-E-W, Nova, just like the car. She does a lot of, again, she does a lot of tester bags. So she does a lot of tutorials on new patterns, like right when they come out. So if you don't want to wait for someone like me a year later to do a tutorial, she does a lot, and she's really good at explaining. She's funny. I do like watching her doing her tutorials. And also, if you ever watch one of her tutorials, oops, I just turned my camera. Sorry about that. If you ever watch one of her tutorials on a new bag release, and you haven't bought the pattern yet, always click on her link inside her bag. She does get a few bucks on that, so she does get money, and it helps her out if you use that link. They buy it. Just saying. So this is what we got. We're top stitched on that. Now I'm going to grab my back panel, line it up to the other side of my side panel, do the exact same thing. So I'm going to do that real quick. Get that lined up. There we go. Yeah, not all of us get that. The designer does need to offer that to you, but like I say, she does a lot of tester bags, so that is part of Shanova's business. So while you do not get reimbursed for testing a bag, I was going to tell you some stories. But if you click on their link, that'll help them out a little bit. Because when we test bags, when you do a tester bag, you're using your materials. I mean, you'll get the pattern in the end, honestly, but it still helps a little bit. It's because you are using your own materials to make a tester bag. And that's what I was talking about earlier when my ADD kicks in. I've done some tester bags. And there's a few people that I love testing for. Absolutely love testing for. Because I know what to expect when I test their bags. All right, let me get this. And if you ever want to get into testing bags, just be careful. Here's a couple that I done testing for. And now I'm going to top stitch again so we can get this. Now, of course, now we're getting a little awkward. So you just kind of got to work with it. And since this is an extra big bag, it is even more awkward than awkward, right? But yeah, just be careful. If you ever do want to get into testing, be careful who you test for. Some patterns, when you test, are harder to understand. So you really got to think about it. So if that's not what you want to do, I would be careful. On some of the lesser known pattern designers, listen to me talk. When I want to design patterns, I'll be a lesser known, so nobody will want. But anyway, I'm just trying to hold this so it doesn't hit the camera. Oh, but did I get it? Oh. But and then a couple of them that I tested. No, one that I tested for recently. I don't want to. I'm not bad mouthing. Don't get me wrong. Some are very, very particular. I mean, really particular about you testing their patterns. And that can make it stressful. And that one was very stressful. And the bag did not turn out right. I just could not make the bag look right. And it is currently sitting up on my shelf at the top. I've got two bags that I've done for testers that are currently sitting on my shelf that I could never sell. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you get into testing bags. So just be careful when you do it. All right. And that's why I'm going to don't use something exactly that, Lindiana, that is correct. It doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have a working bag. So always use something. You need to use something that you're not worried about wasting, but you also still want to make sure it looks decent, because if it does turn out well, it'll be in the picture and you'll get credit for it. Like I said, there's a couple, and I won't say names. There's a couple that I test for that I don't care what materials I use, because I know it's going to turn out decent enough that when it hits their tester pictures, I'll be in their tester pictures. So you want to make sure that. All right, now, real quick, I am now full circle, meaning it is now a circle. So I am bringing up the other side of the back panel to the free end of the side panel, and we're going to make a complete little circle of the bag like that. So I'm just bringing that up, and then I'm going to stitch this together. And Delphina, I did see your comment. How I got into it. Facebook groups. I found a couple through Kasaya's and Barb's Facebook groups. Some bag designers will reach out like that. They'll put in their tester call. You just have to be lucky enough to see it. They want pictures of your bags, things of that nature. And you could get selected. That's how I got selected for a few couple. one, I got selected as a tester because I asked her to do a tutorial on one of her bags. I'll say this one, Petal, Ivana. I asked her to do I asked to do a tutorial on one of her bags, and I was, in correspondence with her about doing the tutorial and changes that I wanted to make, and if that was, that kind of stuff. Are you okay with that? So on and so forth. And she had watched that video. She liked it. And so when she had a new bag coming out after that, she reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a tester. That's how I got Petal. And then Petal is the only one that reimburses me. Like if you watch one of my Petal sewing pattern, tutorials, and you click on that link and buy that pattern or buy a pattern from that link, that's the only one I get anything for. It's a few bucks. It's I'm not sure how much, because by the time it goes through the exchange rate, because Ivana's out in Croatia, by the time it hits me, I think it's $1 and some change, which is fine. Trust me, I am not complaining. That's about what it works out to. But so I'm going to top stitch this. Now remember, because we're in this, we got to go like in a tunnel. Now this is big enough where I can, you could see my head through that tunnel. That's how big it is. Sometimes you have a more narrow bag and it's harder, so you just kind of got to work with it. But some people, when they do this tunnel, they will go like halfway down, stop, pull threads through, and go back. I have had to do that on a bag, but this is big enough where I can work with this. This is easy enough. So I'm going to sit here in my little tunnel and stitch this. That's how I started doing testing for Phoebe at Bloomin' Needle. She used to be Halil. I did her, that Everly, her little free wristlet that I did that live on. I reached out to her and asked her, that I could do a tutorial on the Everly. Even though it was a free pattern, I still asked, because I don't want to just, assume and take advantage of people. Sorry, my bag is getting caught in my stuff here. All right, so I'm going to have to lay it down and pull it, because it's starting to get caught into my stuff. All right. So anyways, and Phoebe actually watches all my videos, because I get kudos from her, which that's just makes me, I love that. Well, I should say she watches most all of them, but anyway. So I did that, and then we started corresponding, and she started asking me to test for. And I'll be honest with you, those are my two favorite people to test for. Not that the other ones aren't. Let's see. Oh, I missed. Hold on. I used this print combo on the candy bag by Petal. Oh, wow. That sounds pretty. I love the candy. I tested the candy. Well, let's see. Did I test the candy? I didn't test the candy. I did. I can't remember now. I did a tutorial on the candy. Actually, I did several. I did one on the big one, and I did one on the little one. And all of my candies have sold. I don't have any of my candy bags left. The one lady who bought my big one, she loved the fabric choices on it so much. The big one that I did, it was the biscuit color and the metallic, the green tea metallic that Tulip Bee has, and her biscuit faux real. She loved the color combination so much, and it was an older woman. She was a small lady, real small, petite. It was a big bag. And she's like, I just don't know if I could use such a big bag. And I'm like, well, what if I sell it to you for such and such amount? She goes, I'll take it. She goes, even if I can't use it, I know somebody who can. I love that one. It was such a gort. That was one of those ones where I just absolutely loved it. Okay, now. So we got this all sewn together like this. Now what you're going to do, it's all ready to go. You still got that bottom piece. You're going to grab both of your bottom exteriors and you're going to sew, put them right sides together. And I think these are straight rectangles. There's not an angle to them. Right. I got a little bit of extra. Now, remember this bottom exterior piece, you're going to put either Decaville Heavy or 2 layers of Decaville Light. I had to put 2 layers of Decaville Light because my Decaville Heavy, I didn't have enough to make it for this long of a piece because this is a big piece. So we're going to put these right sides together. And I am going to stitch these ends. I'm going to do the stitch the short ends, and I'm going to stitch these first, this one side first. And you are going to open up the seams and top stitch the seams open. I found my scissors, I actually put them away. You can, my Facebook, I can't remember, you know, I know Delphina, when she first found me, she tried to put a picture of something on my Facebook, and you know what, and it was, for some reason, it wouldn't let her post a picture. So, Angela, if you cannot post it on my YouTube page, if you're not a part of Tulip Bee's Facebook page group, I should say, I'm going to top stitch this seam open. Go ahead and put it on Tulip Bee's. She loves seeing bags made out of her vinyls. She has a Facebook group too. I tell her I sent you. Tell her, like, because Tony told me to. She knows who I am. Never met her, but she's when I first started my YouTube page group, YouTube channel. You can tell it's getting late. What time? 9:30. Yeah, that's getting late. And I'm usually in bed watching TV right now. But we are committed. I am committed to get this done tonight because I've got a show I've got to finish getting ready for. And I got to cram this bag full of stuff to take to my show. So there you go. There's that. Whoops, can't see it. There you go. And then we're going to do the exact same thing like we did. We're going to put the other sides together. We're going to make like another little tube thing, except it's a shorter one. Stitch this together. And then we're going to open up the seams and stitch the seams open too. Okay. Yeah, tell them that Tony sent you. Yeah, when I get both of these bags done, I'm going to take pictures of them. She's already seen when I first put that first bag together, the color combo. Because I did it before it was even finished because I was loving it when I first seen it. I got a little bit of Decaville right where my seam is. Somehow I cut it too long. It's causing me some grief right now. So I got to force this to go lay flat. But anyway, when I get both of these done, I think I'm going to take pictures of them side by side and put them on Annette's Facebook group. I love showing, especially the people who sells the vinyl. I love showing the color combinations that I come up with. I don't know why, I just do. Because a lot of my color combos are purely accidental. When I sewed the Demelza, the pattern by, whoops, sorry guys. the pattern that we did in the So Long on Kasaya's Patreon. I wanted it to be all of Tulip Bee's Persuade Me and Sage. I wanted it to be, and then I was short in Sage. So the top band of it, I made it Wabi Sabi, the top band of it. That turned out really good. I'm not going to lie. All right, so now we got the bottom band. Again, the bottom band is like a little circle. See how I got that in a circle? I'm looking very tired right now. All right. All my centers, let me make sure all my centers are marked. Let me make sure. I'm going to need to make sure this center is marked before I start. Well, I tell you what, no, I need to make sure this is marked centers. Okay, so that's before I sew this on. I'm going to mark my centers on the non-stitched sides. So I'm going to match up my centers where I have them stitched together. Get me a center point here on the on those points there. Woo! I'm committed. How long have we been on? 181 minutes. What's that convert to? 7:30. I started at 6:30. Oh my gosh, 3 hours. 3 hours, guys. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm committed. I'm telling you what. And Lindiana and Delphina, thank you too so much for sticking with me and being my official. All right, this needs the center point marked. Being my official admins. I crown you my official admins of the Quilted Cactus League. Now I'm getting silly. All right, turn this. Now you got to turn the bag right side out. So let's turn this gal right side out. That's the only problem with pre-taping like that. When you start flipping it in and out, it starts to come off. But we will. Do we have to throw a clip in there? Oh, I'm hitting my pedal. I hit the gas pedal. Fortunately, there was nothing in the way. All right, so right side out. Let me get my needle back up. There we go. Make sure I didn't damage. There we go. All right. Boom. Now, with your bag right side out, put it upside down. So this is your bottom right here. Take your little band and you're going to wrap your band around with the right sides together. So you're going to have your band wrong side out, bag right side out. Take your band and wrap it around the bottom of your bag and then mark your centers. That's why your centers are important. And then clip it all around for the bottom band of the bag. So I'm going to go through all of my centers and clip it. I need to go just a hair up. There we go. Because my pieces are a little shorter and I got to make sure these match. So I'm going to match from my sides first. There we go. Doom, doom. What we'll probably do is when I drop it in and show you, my commitment will probably end once we drop it in and we see what it looks like. I probably will not I'm not going to top stitch it tonight. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to get it dropped in and get it clipped and show you what this like and put the handles through the loop and stuff and show you that way. And you just kind of got to work with it. to stretch it out a little bit and to make sure everything fits nicely, because you're dropping that in like that. But yeah, I'm going to get it all together. We'll get it dropped in. I'll get it folded down so we can see what it looks like when it's done and see how big it is, because that's what I want to, I mean, Jen and her tutorials of the bag, she shows you, you know, the different sizes and in the picture of the pattern. But, you know, it's one of those things, sometimes, you know, you want to see it in real life. And when I did cut out the pattern, I knew I wanted to make a big one when I cut out the pattern. I just didn't know it was going to be for me until I made it. And then I decided I want one for me. Me, myself, and I. All right. I'm not going to put any more clips. And that's plenty of clips. All right. So now I'm going to go along the edge here and sew this all the way around at the seam allowance that she tells you, which is consistently the same, which is great. So that way I don't forget. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I want right there. And I'm going to need to decrease my stitch length back down. There we go. All right, so I'm going to stitch this all around. And hopefully I don't hit the camera. Hello. Oh. This is easy to sew around, honestly, because it's not it's still a nice wide thing, space here. I'd say if you were making the small little handbag size, it might be a little tighter. I might not see comments while I stitch this because it's right in front of my camera. Sorry. I realized it was hitting the camera because it was like, wait a minute. I will have to pick up my clips, though, off the floor before I go to bed, because when the dog comes down here in the morning, that'll be the first thing she sees, and she will try to pick them up and play with them. She won't eat them. She will play with them. She'll throw them around. Because I was saying the other day, she likes to, if I drop my, like, rolls of zipper, sometimes I'll drop, like, zipper rolls like this on the floor, and I don't realize it. She finds them. And she loves grabbing my little packs of zippers like that and taking off with them. All right, we're almost to the end. Or the other end, I should say. Or the circle. We're almost full circle. That's the best way to put it. Flip these threads. Flip these out of the way. Here we go. All righty. Boom. And boom. Boop. Boop. Now, we're going to take this, fold it down like that, and you're going to top stitch on the band. So you're going to fold it down, and you're going to make, oh, come on. Oh. It wants to hang on. There we go. I'll probably have to throw some heat on this to get some of these wrinkles out, because it's starting to wrinkle, but I think that's because I've just been a little, oh my gosh, look how big it is. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to fold your seam allowance your lining seam allowance. You're going to fold it down towards the bottom of the bag. And then you're going to top stitch there. Now, you just kind of got to work with that. Like, stick it, kind of do it like a off a little bit. And then just kind of work with it to make sure you top stitch it, but not accidentally grab the other side of the bag in it. Now, I am going to, you can pull your threads through, or you can back stitch. I am going to start on the side, and I'm going to back stitch. And if I start here on the side seam, nobody's going to see that back stitching. And again, it's my bag, so. And you're not going to see it. Even if I show the bag off, you're not going to see it. So I'm going to work this in there. Make sure the other side of the bag is not under there with it. And top stitch all around. Oops, I need to raise my stitch length too. Oh, so what comments did I miss? Let's see. No, I don't think everybody uses industrials, Angela. A lot of people have the 2010 and like it. The only reason why I didn't do that when I bought one, because I had already had multiple other sewing machines. One I used right before this one was an Elna. And it was sold to me as like a semi-industrial, sort of, kind of. And so when I was going for a new machine, I think I'm running out of bobbin thread too. Hold on. No, it's all right. I thought maybe I was running out of bobbin thread. It was just, but anyway, you just kind of got to work with it. I'm just making sure my, but I sewed a lot of bags on that Elna. Also that, I had a, before the Elna, I had a, Eversewn, which is mainly a quilting machine. I made a few bags on that machine. She didn't like it. She screamed at me a lot. This Eversewn, but you can still make bags. The thing with using a semi-industrial, you just got to be careful with double-sided tape. Keep your needle clean. I'm looking. Yeah, My Handmade Space, that's what they use for their bags. Yes. If you're not familiar with My Handmade Space, if you watch Kasai at Swag Bags, she did a Sewing in the States in Massachusetts, and that was at My Handmade Space. Oops, sorry if I keep hitting the camera. And you got to see them make, well, they made a pouch, but they actually rent spaces out there. They're different. You can rent a machine or go to, I don't know if you rent them or if you just reserve them and get to use them. I'm not sure how it all works, but yes. They have, I forgot how many. It's awesome space. I don't live in Massachusetts, but if I'm telling you what, if I did, I would go there. Well, I probably wouldn't be able to go there because then I would spend too much money. I know when I get on their website. Oh, yeah. That's a great deal. Because aren't those close to like $1,800 or something? $1,600, $1,700? No, I think they're around $1,000. Maybe more now. When I went to buy this one, I think they were around $1,000. The 2010s. But yeah, that's why I didn't get one, because I was already sewing on a machine that was sort of kind of industrial. And like I was saying earlier, it was like this time I decided I'm just going to go big or go home. And I decided to get this one. I love the machine. I didn't like spending the money, but I do use it a lot. When I say a lot, I use this machine most every single day. I work from home, so I sew at lunchtime. Now, I sew and or prepare for bags at lunchtime. I got a thread peeking through. There we go. So it's not difficult. It's just awkward, so you just kind of take your time. But guess what after this? What? We are on the base. We are on the base. Nothing but the base. I think Delphina and Lindiana should get the viewer award. You're going to help my watch time. You ladies are helping my watch time hours. Oh. My poor daughter's poor dog. When my husband leaves her upstairs by herself and comes downstairs when my daughter's working, he puts... he plays my videos to help me. When nobody's up there, they just play, well, except the dog. So poor Joy has to sit and listen to my voice. Well, my husband's downstairs doing his thing, and he's not ready to take her outside because she's little Miss Barky McBarky. And we have neighbors that a couple of days a week work from home, so we have to, you know, respect that. Which I respect that because I don't want to hear it either. I wouldn't want to hear it from other people's dogs. So some days she has to sit upstairs by herself. And I always tell her, well, Joy, that's your punishment for being some little Barky. You have to sit and listen to my voice. That's punishment right there. All right, we are 2 inches left. Whoops, I got to make sure, though, I at least meet up where I started. I think I might have to hand crank. Nope, we're good. We made it. All right. I didn't want to go that close, that far over, but I did, and it's on the side, so you're not going to be able to see it. Let's clip there, and then I'll get closer. There we go. Boom and boom. Oh, oh, oh. Bottom band is on. Look at that. Exterior of this bag. Oh, look at it. That's cute. Beautiful. I love this. I'll bring the camera up when I get done. Which one do you have the 2010? No, Delphina, you said you have an HD9. $1,200. They haven't gone up since I last priced them. Not much. They haven't gone up much since I last priced them. Okay, now we're going to sew the base on, guys. So I'm going to grab my base, get it sewn on. I got to turn this guy back, wrong side out again. There goes my tape. So let's get this turned in and get this base sewn on. I'll drop the lining in so we can see kind of what it looks like. But I will top stitch it tomorrow. Because we're done. I know I said I'm committed to the end. I'm committed to almost the end. Because we've been going at this for over 3 hours. This is a long, long video. And some people, like, oh my God, they're going to see how long this is, and they're going to say, that's not worth it. I have chapters. It's chapters. If you need anything to go back over, I do have it set for it to go chapters, so you can always fast forward through it. My hands are shot. I'm not gonna lie. Oh. All right. Yeah. See, this is why you don't stick your tape on too soon. But it is what it is. All right. So let's get the base on and get it sewn on, and then flip it out. Oh. Get in there. Get in there. All right. So, we are going to match our centers first. All 4 centers. Match, matchy, match. watch Susan so much that oh no, we can't keep dropping these things on the floor. I find myself saying that stuff. Oh, my stuff's coming unstuck. There we go. All right, so let's get my centers matched up. Ouch. If you can give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Ken's Sewing. No tax, no shipping. Wow. Ken, is that the one, now you may have to snip a little bit in the side just to relax it. I'm not going to make very many. I'm going to say just a couple. And make sure you only go about 1/8 of an inch. And all that does is relax that corner, yeah. That rounded edge, you could staple it. It just relaxes it so you can get around that. I'm going to staple it so it doesn't slip. So I'm going to staple. And when I trim my seams, honestly, when I trim my seam allowances after I sew this on, you won't know there were staples in there. I won't have to actually remove them because I'm going to staple inside my seam allowances. Oh, I don't got this side clipped yet. Let's get up. I keep saying, do your centers first. There we go. I'd never stapled until I bought this stapler. This is from Wall-Wack. This is the 1/4 inch staples. It's the smaller staples. There are 2 different kinds. I like that one. Number 1, it's the small stitches. Number 2, it's easy to handle. It is not a tough squeeze. And I can't sometimes squeeze things. My bag is trying to get away from me because it wants to go to sleep just like me. We were supposed to watch the end of that stupid show tonight, but we didn't watch it. My husband's going to be like, I'm not watching it. You just got up here too late. Oh, well. I mean, not like you're going anywhere tomorrow. I'm the one. Yes, you did, Angela. That is a sweet deal, honestly. Where is Ken's at? That sounds familiar. And I've probably seen other people talk about it. I've heard of Sunny's. I think Sunny is Sunny in Texas. You've got where the place that Kasaya goes to, which is, I forgot that name of that one. They sell off-brand Jukies. Do I have snips in there? Yeah. He sells I don't want to say off-brands. King Max, I think, is what they sell for the comparative to a Juki, is what a place in Denver. Texas, you think? Okay. So it sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard it, but probably not as much as I hear Sunny's. And I cannot think of the guy up in Chicago. I've even watched his videos on how to do a lot of things with this machine. And he's up, and I've even ordered stuff from him, and I can't think of his name. Sunny's is, where is Sunny's? Maybe Sunny's is the one in Texas. A lot of people go to him. That's a little too close to the edge. There's a lot of good ones out there. You just got to watch it and make sure you get a good one, right? You don't want to, I cannot drop another clip on the floor. I went to Juki Junkies. Is where I got my machine. Of course, that's all. Well, they sell the Jukis, and they sell, I think, Genomi's too, because that's a brand of Juki. I think. That's what it is. I think it's Genomi's, but I like them. They are very helpful, especially when I got my machine and it messed up right away on the reason that I got the 1541S. Another reason why I bought this 1541S is because it has a thing for the timing clutch, I think is what it's called. It comes with a clutch. And if you knock it out of timing, you can, it shouldn't. It's not supposed to knock out of timing, but should that happen, you got the little clutchy thing to do, and then you can fix that. Or not timing, it's not supposed to knock out of timing, but it's got this little clutchy thing that if something gets messed up, you can do the little clutch and it fixes it. Well, the first thing that happened to this machine right after I bought it and first used it, before I even used it on a bag, it got knocked out of timing, which it's not supposed to. And David, Carmen's son, actually we FaceTimed with me and we figured it out that it was timing, which he was baffled by, because it's not supposed to get knocked out of timing. And they were good enough. I called a service guy, local service guy. He came out and told me what happened. Something wasn't tightened when they put the machine together. It wasn't tightened, and that's what knocked it out of timing. Anyways, so they were very good, and they refunded my charge. I got credit on my account, or they gave me the credit back towards my purchase, because I had to pay a service guy 2 weeks after I got the machine. Not even 2 weeks after I got the machine. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Janet. I was clipping the base on. I apologize. Getting the base clipped on. It's such a big bag, I kind of had to go off to the side. So now I'm getting ready to sew the base of the bag on. So we're going to set this down and get her done. And thank you for joining me, Janet. I do appreciate it. If you don't mind, can I ask, are you from, I know it's late here, on the eastern side or the Midwest? I'm in the Eastern time zone. Let's put it that way. So it is currently 10 o'clock where I live. But I've got my Westerners here to help me out and stick with me. Delphina and Lindiana. And I've got a few. I've got someone. I assume she's still here. I hope. Yeah, I know, Delphina. One hit the can. I've got to run my magnetic wand to pick up my clips. So I'm gonna probably get in the way of the camera. Thanks, Lindiana. I'm trying not to hit the camera, but my seam allowance is slipping, so I just gotta get a hold of it. So when you get around those curves, just be careful. Like I said, since I went ahead and stapled them, it does make it a little easier when you're doing these round bases. Like this. And just kind of, I'm going to keep it pushed down so it doesn't pucker. There we go. Oh. And I'm going to slow around these curves, number one, because it's a curve, and number two, I have those staples there, so I don't want to hit my staples, even though they're out of my seam allowance, in case I slip on my seam. Let me get my tablet out of the way before that hits the floor. Just kind of pushing the materials back so it doesn't pucker on some of this, because it's wanting to. There we go. Just go slow, that's all I can tell you. I mean, I wish I could go faster, but we don't want to mess it up. Not at this point, right? Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate you're still here too. Appreciate you guys. Whoops. I really, really do. Oh. I know a lot of people don't like to put out 3-hour videos. Oh. Typically, whoops, I wouldn't do a live on such a adventurous project because there is a lot to it. And I almost didn't. Oh, my whole thing is coming off. It's okay. I'll just use clips. And that's why I say it would have to be in 2 parts. I just wish I could have done more off camera, but there's just some things I had to show on camera. Now, if you're looking for a real, you know, a full, complete, 100% step-by-step, Jen, she does have tutorial on her bags, so. And I know when this pattern first came out, she actually did a live on this bag, plus she has a full tutorial. I know I'm hitting the camera, sorry. I don't want to fold the bag up too much, because then it's going to mess up my seam, but I'm almost getting there. I'm at the second round. Second. And I'm not going to double stitch this. I don't know. I've got a tight stitch length. I don't think I need to double stitch. I'm just not going to do it. Probably if I was selling it, I probably would. We are 3/4 the way done. All right. Let's get on the straightaway. There we go. Unclip. Make sure we're not going to slip though, since I unclipped everything and just zoom her on down. There we go. Boom. All right. Let me trim down my seam allowance real quick. I'm going to go about a 1/4 inch, a little more maybe, a 1/4 inch, 1/8 to a 1/4 inch away from the stitching. And I'm just going to cut those staples right out. Just be really careful so you don't ruin your scissors. Look at that. See, I didn't even have to remove my staples. Just obviously don't get too close to your stitching, especially since I did not do an extra stitch there. I just got to be careful. Apologize for the squeaky scissors. Every time I hear him squeak, I think of Shanova's squeaky roller. Because her little roller that she uses squeaks. Even though she says she oils it. My scissors do need oiled though. So, 1, 2, there we go. They need oiled and sharpened. All right, let's turn this gal right side out. I've got a very, very strong base. So this will cause me a little extra, maybe, maybe not. And I know a hair dryer probably would help to a certain extent. Problem is I'm worried that it will, since I have self-adhesive stuff on the bottom, I don't want the heat to melt my self-adhesive up. But look at this. This is easy. This bag's big enough to where I can force it through. It's such a big bag, but I love it. I wonder if this bag is even bigger than the Minerva. If anybody remembers Minerva, the Bagstock Designs bag, it's a huge bag. It was a bag of the month at one point, but of course she sells it individually now. That's a huge bag. I still have that bag too. It never sold because people are afraid of giant. They love it. They just don't want it because it's so big. I love that bag. All right. I'm sitting here setting up tonight doing this, and I've got to work 12 hours tomorrow. I know. Wah, wah. I got to go sit at a desk for 12 hours tomorrow. Wow, wow. I know. My son won't feel sorry for me because he's in construction, so he won't be. He's in the cold right now. We're almost there, guys. I know they do squeak, don't they? I looked up some scissor sharpener people around here. We do have a Luke's Sewing Center. I don't know, about 15 minutes away. They probably would send them out to have them sharpened. But we do have a few local people that do them. And I might rather go there. Number one, because they will sharpen them for you like right there, or it's not like you don't have to wait. You just send it directly to them, where Luke's will send them out to somebody, and then of course they'll charge you a little extra to get their cut. But it's also, when I first got this machine and I had a problem with it, when I called them to ask them if they would take a look at the machine to see what was wrong with it, they tried to sell me a new machine. I'm like, I just bought this machine. Well, return it. I'm like, no, I can't return it. You shouldn't buy. You should have came here. And I'm like, I want to say you don't have what I have, what I wanted. I wanted a specific machine, and they didn't sell. They don't sell Jukies. I'm knocking everything off. But anyway, so that kind of left me with bad taste. All I called them was ask them if I could take my machine in, if they would take a look at it. They're like, yeah, we'll charge you $50 or something just to see what's wrong with it. And then I called a small sewing quilting store, and they gave me the name of the person that they send their machines to for their regular domestics, and he does industrials too. And he came out to my house free to come to my house, and he didn't charge me hardly anything, and he had that thing fixed right away. So anyway. Oh, I didn't have to pay for it because, watch, oh my God, look how big that bag is. Oh my gosh, you guys. Let's just do this. This is one big bag. I'm going to raise my phone up. I am just trying to real quick fold just a little bit of the top down to just get a picture of how, a real picture of how tall this is. I'm just folding just the front, and since my tape is no longer sticky, no longer sticking, look at this bag. Woof! All right. Oh, get my lining in. Oh yeah, fits nicely. And let's do a handle for looks. Let's get that full picture because you guys stuck with me. I want to put a handle on, and we'll show what it looks like. I'm sorry that it's not 100%, but Yeah, it's, that's thick. A clip is not going to hold that. Well, let's get one of my big clips here. And again, I made my straps. If you weren't here in the very beginning, or especially when I did my cutting, I made the straps like 6 inches longer, or the handles 6 inches longer than what she calls for the carrier size, because I like that extra arm room when I'm going to move the camera. So wait, pardon me for the moving around. But I did make my, oh, there we go. Sorry for the look close-up of my old neck. Okay. Oh my God. Look how big. I'll put it up against. Look how big this bag is. I mean, I can bring everything with me to my craft shows. I don't have to carry an extra bag, and I do not have to carry my little tiny cooler with me because, you guys, because I just took my, I forgot my zipper and whatnot, because I have this awesome divided pocket. In my divided pocket, I divided my pocket and divided it, and I can put 2 water bottles here. I can put a frozen water bottle and a regular cold water bottle, and I can keep it in here. And because I'm using waterproof canvas on the inside, the sweating, I'm not worried about the sweating. If I was really concerned, I could just throw a paper towel down in here, just to absorb it. But that's water resistant canvas. My gosh, look at that. I can put everything in this bag. I love it. I am so excited. And look, let me look at the lining. Let me just push it down a little bit. Yes. I'll put a picture of it tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night. I'm going to try to get it top stitched at lunchtime tomorrow. It just depends on how quickly I can get it top stitched and the handles on, because that's all I have left is top stitching and handles. If I can get that done at lunchtime tomorrow, I will get a picture of it and put it on Facebook, my Facebook group. If you're not a member of my Facebook group, it's Quilted Cactus. And then this is the carrier, which is like an overnight bag. She means it, it's meant to be an overnight type of bag. So if you're looking for an overnight, even a weekend bag, this to me would be a vacation bag. No lie. I don't bring a lot when I go on vacation. But anyway, that is that. And then this is the tote size. Look at this. Oh. Look, oh, a minute. Hold on. Let me get my camera back a little bit. Let's see if I can move it back enough for you to see the twins, or the big sister and the little sister, or the twins. I don't know what you call it. So I did my handles a little different. And then this one has got the navy on the outside. And then my underscore underneath is the floral. And then when I lay it down, you got the floral. I love it. Absolutely love this huge, ginormous bag. Delphina, you had your message retracted? Bloody amazing. Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate that. That is just, okay, guys. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you sticking with me. Kudos to my new moderators, Lindy, Anna, Delphine. Ladies, thank you so much for keeping an eye out on comments. Tonight was the first night we really had to worry about comments, which is great. I've been doing lives for a year now, and I haven't had too much problems with odd comments. Sorry, a little bit of glue, but yeah. I like my big, huge O-rings, and my zipper pull is a big, huge O-ring. Size swag bags for these ginormous things. But, guys, thank you so much. I so appreciate you. I know I just said that. I'm going to say it again. Everybody that tuned in, watched me, even if you caught me at the end, thank you so much. I put again, the link to this pattern. Again, this is the Regina Phalange. I think that's how you say it. By Sincerely Jen. I did link her pattern for you if you're interested. All of my materials, my exterior materials for this bag is all Tulip Bee, Navy Faux Reel, Wabi Sabi Faux Reel, and this is French Floral print. And then the interior of this bag is My Handmade Space, and their water resistant canvas, and they just have it WRC. Again, it's in this. This here is, I don't think you can get it anymore. I bought it on sale. I think it was clearanced, so I don't think you can get that. But the green is it's called dark green. I think that's it. It's all in the description. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. I know you're already dropping off because I've already said thank you again. Appreciate you. I'm going upstairs. Hopefully I can watch the last episode of this stupid show I've been watching, because it's been stupid, but you know, you get invested and you got to watch the end. So I'm going to go upstairs, watch a show, and go to sleep. Oh, after I pick up my bucket of Clippies I dropped on the floor. And you guys, all that sewing I did tonight, just so you know, I did not finish a bobbin. All that's just tonight sewing only. It was a brand new bobbin that I started with. So everything that you watched me do tonight was all on one bobbin. And I don't know how much is left of it. I'll be interested to see how much is left of that bobbin. I'll let you know how much is left of my bobbin. Again, it wasn't for the whole bag, but it was all of that exterior sewing and that little bit of that lining sewing that we did tonight, sewing on the bottom of the bag and then doing all the exterior put together. It was all one bobbin. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Catch me in probably a couple weeks. Not next week. I won't be doing a live next week. I can tell you that. So the week after, I'll do a live. I'll look that pattern up. Delphina, email me or message me with that pattern. Diane, you're still here. Thank you so much. So I can remember what it is that you want. Josephina, but send me a message so I can make sure I look for it. Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you. And we'll talk soon. Bye.